And good evening, everybody, and welcome to Holman Stadium. I am Tom King, along with GJ Mitchell, doing play-by-play tonight. GJ, welcome. We're here for the Silver Knights against the Norwich Sea Unicorns.
Yeah.
GJ, it has not been a very pleasant experience for these players so far in terms of wins and losses. It's just been really tough.
No, it hasn't, Tom. Again, and thank you for having me on the broadcast. Yeah, Nashua comes in at 7-23, Norwich at 18-11. It has been very slim pickings here at home for Nashua in form of wins, but nonetheless, the fans come out, they still support, they still cheer, and it should be a fun night here on Thursday.
It's a beautiful night for baseball. I mean, for all the lousy weather we've had, this is finally a nice summer night, and hopefully the fans can come out and enjoy it. Right now it's just been a struggle. Andrew Chenevert, converted from the bullpen, will take the start tonight for Nashua against right-hander Jared Burrows from Norwich. Nashua's got to be tired of seeing Norwich here. I mean, they played them like at Holman Stadium the last, 3 times in a row, and they were on the road last night.
I love my boy Johnny Knox, but if I never see him again until next year, I would not be upset with that. It is a tough thing. We seem to get hammered with Norwich, and it'll be that same way with Vermont coming up in the last half of the season. It's just something about summertime baseball. You just end up getting a groove that you face a couple of teams all at the same time or all right in a row, and it just happens to be that this time it's in Norwich, and in the form of, like you said, Jared Burrows on the mound.
All right, we are going to pause in a second for the national anthem, I believe. Al St. Louis is down on the field and raising his hand, saying he's ready to go. St. Louis improvising with his own voice. We picked it up on our mics. That was great. GJ, it might be a good idea, maybe a half hour before the game, for them to test the wireless mic, don't you think?
No, I think that was definitely planned. It was nice to hear the crowd get involved. It was crowd participation night here at Historic Holman Stadium. If you didn't catch it on your ticket on the way in, it was on the very, very bottom on the very fine print.
Yeah, my ears tell me that wasn't planned.
I don't know what you're talking about. I thought that was spectacularly 100% to form.
Anyway, in your mind, you've seen a lot of games here, as I have. What do you think is the problem with this team this season?
I think Nashua needs to do a lot with the hitting department. I think their pitching is starting to pick up. I think it's starting to be the hitting that needs to be what is becoming not more just a catalyst, but something that is really a driving force for this team. I see the pitching staff comes up, they'll have a couple of good innings, they'll get themselves in a real good position. Nashua will either be down a run or two and they'll come back, or they'll take the lead, and then almost immediately, as soon as the other team gets up and gets a couple of runs ahead, the Nashua bats get silent. And even though the pitchers end up knuckling down and doing well, the bats just go cold, almost like they're afraid to get hits. I almost want to do a major league, like, you know, hats for bats, keep bats warm seance type thing with this team, because at this point, at this point, it seems to be the only thing that's stopping Nashua from not only getting wins and putting a couple of wins together, but getting a positive vibe out of this team from a standpoint of wins and losses.
That's just it. I mean, we're beyond the stage where we really can analyze and be critical. It's a question of morale now. They need a win to feel good about themselves. 9-game losing streak. Now they're on a 6-game losing streak. To me, a very candid conversation with Kyle Jackson, the manager, about a week ago, the night that he got tossed from a game for calling balls and strikes, was that the rosters of some of these teams, especially the teams above them in the standings, are from major schools. And it seems as though the league is starting to go in that direction. It used to be the D3 guys, D2, D3, hunger, and all that they were out to prove something. Well, this year, unfortunately, that's been a struggle.
As that first pitch popped up, first pitch one out by Chenevert, so a nice start there for Nashua. And I couldn't agree more, Tom, with that. Is there seems to be a big influx of top D2, D1 programs. And although I will tell you, I do still feel and believe in the Nashua way of doing things, getting a lot of D2, D3 talent and finding the D1 guys that are specific. But
I think it's got to change. I think it was a great way of doing things, but if the league continues to go in this direction, this is proof positive that National won't be able to keep that theory up.
Well, that's only for one season. Do you
really want to chance it for another
Well, no,
year?
but here's the thing. Hear me out, right? And I say it's only for one season because last year they were able to win the whole thing, and it came off from the bat of a guy who's going to Boston College at D1 school, and Kyle Wolf.
Right.
Nashua's won 6 out of the 12 championships in the FCBL. They are certainly doing something right as Chenevert goes 1, 2, 3 to the second hitter for right now.
You're missing what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is it's changing.
Oh, no, I don't disagree that it's changing. I'm just saying Nashua's got to keep up with the Joneses.
Well, you cannot keep the same formula. You can't. If it's going to produce 7 and 23, you cannot keep in years to come with that same formula. It's not going to work if the other teams continue to press forward. Here's a pop-up. And great pitching by Chenevert. I like Chenevert. I liked Chenevert the last time I saw him pitch. He did a great job. They really like him out of the bullpen. In the rotation, don't they?
Absolutely, they do. He's certainly a guy that Nashua has become dependent on as far as a key arm in the rotation, and a guy that they certainly rely on to come in and start the game off right. And that was it. 1, 2, 3. Down goes the Sea Unicorns, and we'll see. At the top of the lineup, Luca Giolongo, followed by Nick O'Connor and Jack McDermott, guys in the 1, 2, 3 hole that have been known to produce, and Nashua looks to produce for this team tonight and going beyond.
Yeah, the other thing too is they're lefty heavy in certain areas where they've been kind of a matchup issue. They don't have a righty power hitter. It's cost them 2 wins in a home run derby. You're right. I love to see the ceremony with the bats, because the one thing, and I wrote about it the other day, that's hurt them at the plate, the swing and the miss. It's been incredible, and I've seen it a couple of years ago, and you were here then too, where they had a lot of younger players from from prep schools and high schools that just weren't ready for this level. These guys have played at this level a little bit. The swing and the miss is baffling me.
Yeah, I concur. I mean, guys like Jack McDermott struggled early. Cam Kozel, when he got up here from Nebraska, struggled a bit. But even Shane Walkley and Fosberg. But I think those guys, understanding that, maybe late in the season to get this season to be where we would like it to be and want it to be when we first started. But I think if you get a couple of guys to get some momentum going, that the second half of the season can be very exciting for our fans in and around the Nashua area, because they'll be able to see a progression and a benchmark to work on for next year. If this is a lost year, which maybe it is, maybe it isn't. If it is a lost year, at least you can get momentum in these guys to work on their mechanics, so that when they come back next year, they know exactly what they're going to be facing, and they'll be just that much more prepared for the FCBL in 2024.
I don't know if you would bring back too many from a roster that may not win 20 games.
I don't know if you're right. I don't know if there's a ton of players you come back, but I think there are a handful of guys you can bring back, and I think that those guys.
One guy I'd love to see stay here is Giolongo. I don't know. He is. I think he's a good leadoff hitter. Here's the one thing about Giolongo. Every time I watch him at bat, right? Where's the third baseman right now?
He's right at the bag, not necessarily now. He's creeping in.
He's creeping in a little bit.
Probably for a bunt situation.
But
yeah.
no way if Giolongo drops down a bunt, and he didn't, but there's no way if he drops down a bunt on that grass that he is going to be thrown out at first base.
Oh, no, I completely agree.
Not on that side.
There have been times that I've seen the third baseman back, and I'm like, I wish Giolongo would almost push it, because if you got a righty pitcher, he's falling to the left side. If you push it towards shortstop,
if you push it
you're right there.
The times that he's bunted have been straight ahead or to the right side. What's he doing? Go the other way. It just seems to me that he's got a lot of speed, and he could really utilize it with the bunt. Now, granted, the more times he does it, the more they'll catch on and they'll come way in.
Absolutely.
But then you can slap it by him.
Right. Well, there's Nick O'Connor on the foul tip, and I actually said to, half joking with the coach, Kyle Jackson, I said, if I'm you within this slump where we are collectively, not everybody's batting, top notch, as it were, I would say everybody 1 through 9 should bunt. I don't care who you are in the lineup. I don't care where guys are playing. I want 1 through 9 the first time around to lay bunts down. Manufacture runs. I know it sounds crazy, but
no, it
why
doesn't
not?
sound crazy, but can they do it?
That's the question.
Thing is the bunting is a lost art at any level, and I doubt they were asked to bunt in college. Oh, see, there's O'Connor. He goes down on 3 pitches. No game plan. Nothing.
And that last one was filthy on the inside. Got him turned around like a top.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. And it's just this team is just not a good offensive team. Last in a lot of categories. And they lead the league in one awful category, and that's strikeouts.
Yeah, that's something that they need to fix. We've talked about that. I've talked to a number of the players. I've talked to Kyle Jackson, as well as Noah Wachter and Brendan Martin, the assistant coaches, and we're trying to figure out, we've trying to rack our brains of what they're doing. Is it an approach thing? Is it something they're not seeing the ball?
Well, let me tell you, this is a rare sight right now. Look at the scoreboard, 2-0. When is the last? I mean, it's almost automatic 0-2-1-2, right? It just seems that way every time you look up. Now, McDermott is ahead 3-0.
And I'm not surprised. Jack McDermott's got a really good guy. He was a playoff MVP last year.
Playoff MVP, smart hitter. And I don't know where he got that power last year at the end of the season, because he didn't show much during the season in terms of power. Line drive hitter. But, boy, he was smoking the ball at the end of last season.
Yeah, he definitely tore the cover off the ball last year in the postseason.
That was just so much fun to watch. GJ, I don't know if you went to the New Britain game, the first playoff game, but you could tell that team that night was a different team than one that we had seen maybe weeks earlier. They were playoff ready, and they were bound and determined.
Well, the whole month of July last year was owned basically by Nashua. They were going into the late month of August, right around 500 for the last 2 weeks.
They just played with so much confidence.
Absolutely, it was fun to watch.
Yeah, really.
The game, I will say, Game 3, from a standpoint of being up in Vermont, was one of the most entertaining games I've ever been a part of.
I would say it's probably the best FCBL game I've covered.
Yeah, one of the best games I've ever been a part of.
There's been a couple others that have been pretty good years ago.
Well, here's another, as I was thinking, here's another 2-0 count. This one to Pedro Figueroa. Good pitch there by Burrows, too, on the outside corner. Pedro Figueroa looks like he's a direct pull hitter. I don't even know why the center field is playing dead center. He should be more to the left. Figueroa looks like he's ready to hit it off the performance
over
rehab.
The shortstop.
There it is, performance rehab. Get up, get out. And off the bottom of the wall. What I call it, though, I said performance rehab.
Great call.
That's what he did.
But great call. You pointed out where they were playing him, and I said over the shortstop's head, you're going to be able to maybe run it all the way to the wall, and that's exactly what happened. A great piece of hitting by Figueroa, and you know what? In my mind, you got 307 down there. I don't mind that he's a dead pull hitter.
No.
Now, but here is the problem, I think, at the plate with a lot of the hitters. They're not looking. Now, Figueroa's not going to do it, but the lefty hitters, they're not looking to go the other way.
Oh, I love a guy who can go up or slap. A guy like Shane McMahon can. He's got a good stick up there. He can swing it.
He can. They've got to start going the other way a little bit. That helps you anytime. When you start pulling off the ball.
And just like that.
Yep.
Is that going to hang up, though?
Yes, it is. It's going to go.
Oh, it hits the bottom of the wall. Shane, stay at second, and he does. So back-to-back doubles. Score 2. Nashua takes a 2-0 lead.
And
Tom, you and I should be on the call every
no
game,
kidding,
huh? Let's go.
I know it. No kidding. This is great stuff.
GJ and the legend here at Historic Holman Stadium.
The first two hitters, Giolongo was trying to slap it by the third baseman, so that's what he was trying to do. But O'Connor looked clueless at the plate, and then you get the walk. The walk really started all this. The walk by one of the smartest players on the team.
Yeah, by McDermott, absolutely.
You know,
this kid is a kid I really like.
Kozel,
Jam Kozel.
Yep.
Kid from going to Vanderbilt, Vandy Cam, we call him here around Holman.
From Nebraska.
He from Nebraska, Gatorade Player of the Year. Just spent some time out in Arizona at the MLB Prospects Combine. He should be into the draft in the mix this coming July. He's a kid that we're very excited to have here and very, very excited to have him be a part of the Silver Knights organization, even though he just pulled one nice pitch there by Burrows to get him roll it over for the 4-3. That ends the inning, but Nashua gets 2, and after 1 full, it's 2-0. Unbelievable, huh?
Unbelievable. You know, it's just, to me, it's just amazing the way that they came out. But you know what? They saw that opening, and I think McNamara going the other way. He's, you know, if these lefties, and even the righties going to right field, if these guys can start swinging the other way, then they may get the pitches they like to go to pull, right?
Yeah.
You know, I think that's got to be a progression for them. Talking to Kyle Jackson, he said they get their work in, they work hard at it, they work hard in BP, and it's not translating into games. But something is missing, right? Something's missing here. And I'll tell you what, the other thing that Nashua, I mean, look, it's been, I don't know, how, you know, ever since 21, 22, and now 23, very slow starts, all 3 years. And 2 out of the 3 years, I think it's going to hurt, you know, badly in terms of playoff position. They're not probably going to make it. But the one thing is the hitting at the start of the season. And it's the adjustment, I think, for some of these kids to wood. I think we underplay that. These kids aren't used to the wood, a lot of them, especially the younger ones.
Yeah,
it's a big adjustment.
Even though, don't get me wrong, the greatest metal bats were Easton bats made when I was growing up. And I date myself saying that. The black one with the gold trim on it was the best Easton bat and the best metal bat. But I'll be honest, I would abolish metal bats across the entire world. It's not even a safety thing. I don't think it teaches kids to hit. You can fist a ball off and put it into the outfield on the opposite, you know, in an opposite way.
Yep.
Just with a metal bat because it's got the pop and it's got the way it's designed. You get fisted in a wooden bat, good luck even rolling it past the pitcher.
Yep.
So that, to me, in my opinion, is why you get rid of them. Plus, you learn to hit. You learn to hit with, you know, with the grains. You learn to hit, you know, how you can get the barrel on it. You know, you've got the same drop through on the bats themselves. It just, to me, in my opinion, it's the best thing to go with. And that's some of the reasons, as you mentioned, why younger kids, high school kids or first-year kids in college have trouble in leagues like this because they're used to that metal bat. And they come here and it's just chaos.
You know what? But the other teams aren't having that problem. So something's got to be done. You know, maybe a little bit more work. You know, get them in here a little earlier if possible before the start of the season. Get them working on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's baffling to me. You know, but when you have 3 straight years where you start very, very slow, something has to change, right? It's the pattern is obvious. So whatever they plan on doing, I don't know, but I'm sure that they will plan on some different things to start next season.
Yeah, I think, you know, I mean, at any time you have a failure of a season, you know, and I call that as in somebody who, you know, you don't make the playoffs, you don't come close to a championship, you know, that, you know, is something you need changes. And whether it's changes, you know, from a personnel standpoint, coaching standpoint, you know, anything, whatever, and any and all of those things could be explored. And I don't know. I mean, again, I'm speaking just off the top of my head.
I don't think you change the people. I think you change the methods. I think you change what your plan is. I think you need to change.
Yeah, and maybe that is it too. Maybe it's the plan. Maybe it's the way this team is approached. That should be a strike. Did he go? Oh, come on!
I thought it was outside.
I thought he still went.
Oh, the swing.
I thought he still went.
Right.
Even if it was outside, he went, broke the plane. Should be
How many
strike
times
3.
have we seen the umpire miss one of those because they've basically been asleep, right?
Do we have enough time in this broadcast to continue?
And it's going to cost him a hit.
That one flared to center on a absolute weak shot out to Luca Giolongo. That was Brendan Hyde. Brendan Hyde, he's a very hot hitter for this New Britain team. I should say the Norwich team. Somebody that we've mentioned in the broadcast a number of times leading into our pregame
has had
show.
Their number.
Him and former beloved player here, and Johnny Knox, he's got our number as well.
And Knox was with them last year, and then
he came here.
He came here, and I guess don't know how did he end up here?
They released him.
Yeah, wow, and they brought him back.
So one of the reasons, because I've talked to Johnny in the off season and leading up, he said a lot of his buddies from Nichols were going out to Norwich again.
Yep.
And that's where they wanted to stay.
Hit and run.
Yeah,
it
McDermott,
works.
no way to get him at second. Nicely done.
Yep. Yeah, that's a shame. Johnny Knox was a good player for this team last.
Yeah, he was a very good team.
Yep.
I should say very good player on this team. And he was a guy that was really a do-it-all. You could put him at second, you could put him at short, you could put him at third. You knew he was going to hustle, almost like a Luca Gianlongo. You could put him at first, you could put him at the ninth hole as like a second leadoff guy if you had a deep lineup.
Right.
So he was a very versatile player here for Nashua, was Johnny Knox.
Love the name.
I know. It's a good baseball name, right?
Oh, it's perfect. Are you kidding me?
It is. It's a great, it's an old school throwback, like baseball name.
Exactly.
You know, Dizzy Dean, Bob Feller, Johnny Knox.
Johnny
Knox.
Knox.
It just has that, it has that.
It's got that baseball.
Panache to it.
Yep. Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. This is Koval.
This is Kramer up now.
Kramer, all right.
As he's just outside, 1-1 from Chenevert. Kovalchik up next, Joey Agar the catcher, and then Agri will round it out, the 9-hitter. So, Tom, I have a question to ask you. You've been covering the Nashua Silver Knights for a long time. That's popped up. Should be playable for Kozel. And after that one, skyward. That popped almost out of the top of his glove,
I'll tell you what, I saw so many high school games where a pop-up meant an automatic hit. It was brutal all spring long. Kids aren't trained to learn how to catch fly balls.
And don't get me wrong, I love Vandy Cam. He's my new Johnny Knox guy, the guy I just love, from the standpoint of hustles and whatnot. I would yell at everybody, 2 hands all-star. I don't care what league you're in, 2 hands.
Well, I think he did one because he kind of got caught off guard and he had to move his glove real quick.
Yeah, looked like in the Nashua weather, it pulled in the wind.
So what's the question?
My question is, of all the teams that you've seen here at Nashua and the Silver Knights, was last year one of the more unbelievable seasons you saw, or were you seeing signs of life and expecting something like that could have happened last year?
It wasn't one of the more unbelievable. I think the fact they beat Vermont was unbelievable, but they put together a couple of big winning streaks starting right around now last year. So when they got it, I knew that this wasn't going to be the same as the year before where the slow start killed them. So I thought that they would make the playoffs once we got into early to mid-July, and then once you're in the playoffs, anything can happen.
Right.
But beating Vermont, they beat Vermont about a year ago this time on a road trip.
Yep,
and
I do. I remember up in Vermont.
Right, and I think that gave them confidence they could win up there.
Yeah.
Because they had really almost never won up there in the 2 years that Vermont was in the league. So I think that it wasn't the most unbelievable. They had taken teams that were 5th or 6th. Nice pitch by Chenevert for the strikeout. That were 5th or 6th when there was a 16 playoff in 2016 and 17 and won both times back to back.
Right.
So those to me were more surprising than I think last year's. Although last year's was surprising in the fact that they beat Vermont. I didn't think they would do that.
Yeah, it was after
especially when you lose 12-0 or 10-0, whatever it was in the first game.
That is exactly what I was up in Vermont for the 12-0 game, and the drive back was. It was long. It wasn't as miserable as you would have expected after getting blown out 12-0, but it was a tough ride back. But you know what? Honestly, the next day, and I say to a man, and including staff like myself, Cam. Cook, the general manager, Katie Arian, the assistant GM, we all, when we came in and talking to the players and the interns, we were all like, we just feel weird about today. Like, we just feel like today we're going to win and something's going to happen, and then who knows what could happen, you know, when we go up to Vermont. And sure enough, you know, we end up getting the walk-off on game 2. And then, like I said, Vermont game 3 was one of the most electric and most entertaining games I've ever been a part of.
Yep, it certainly was. And I think the game the night before was bad either. You know, after Vermont rallies to tie the game.
Yep.
And in the 9th inning, and then Chris Hall, the former commissioner, is in the house.
Oh, nice.
Because he's here to see his nephew, Mr. Shedevert, pitch.
Yes, sir.
So Chris Hall texted me, and he said, "That's my nephew." I said, "That's even more unbelievable if the kid is a good pitcher." So anyway, I am going to go down on the field and let you handle play-by-play for an inning or two, and I'll be back up as soon as I get something good with the still photos. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you very much. As that is the legend Tom King. He is going to take some pictures, get some stuff for his other job. So I'm going to take you the rest of the way here as we got Will Fosberg, Shane Walkley, and Albert De La Rosa due up here. And the second as he rolls one over to the first baseman. Unassisted, gets there in time, and there's 1 out on 1 pitch. Same thing happened in inning number 1 for Norwich, and we know what happened with Nashua. They got 2.
The first baseman, number 18, Shane Walkley.
So Shane Walkley coming up. Walkley currently batting .264 homers, 14 RBIs for the Blonde Bomber. Has that first pitch in there, low for a ball. Again, thank you for joining us here on Nashua ETV. And that one's in there for a strike. Beautiful off-speed pitch by Burrows. And Walkley hits that one deep, and I don't think that one is coming back. Get up and out of here. It is gone. Shane Walkley, the Blonde Bomber, hits his 5th homer of the season, and it is 3-0 Nashua. Holy cow. As Walkley absolutely smashed that pitch over the Dick's Sporting Goods sign. Kovalchuk took a couple steps to his left and back and said, nope, I'm going to watch this thing go.
The shortstop, number 14.
And Nashua extends their lead now 3-0. And Albert De La Rosa steps up, another big hitter, batting from the right side this time. What a way to start off Thirsty Thursday. 2 runs in the first, 1 in the second. And Nashua's got the lead. Drinks on the house, everybody. I'll leave my card at the door. 1-1, and he swings through it, and it's 1-2. I think everybody in Nashua ETV is excited that I'm buying the first round. The 1-2 pitch, and right back up the middle as it hung up and just scooped on a short hop by the shortstop over to first in time. Great play all around by Ferreira, getting it over to Bachiro for the second out.
Now batting from New England College, the center fielder, number 16.
So now we'll head to the top of the lineup. I'll give you quickly. It's Giolongo, O'Connor, McDermott, 1-2-3. Figueroa, McNamara, Kozel, 4-5-6. Fosberg, Walkley, De La Rosa, 7-8-9 for Nashua. Again, Burrows on the mound as he slaps that one Oppo down the right field side, just foul. Around the horn, Ferrigno, Ferreira, Egri, Buchero, Kramer, Leonzi, Kovalchuk in the outfield. Agar on the dish with Burrows on the bump, and it's 0-2 as Giolongo swings through that. And that one's outside, and the count of 1-2. Ferrigno, the third baseman, back a little bit. He was playing very shallow. And did he go? He did not. And a count of 2-2. Giolongo looking to keep this inning going. And he puts that one straight up. Could be in the Bermuda Triangle. A shortstop should be the second baseman. Egri will get it for out number 3. And we're going to be back here in just a brief moment on Nashua ETV. Stay tuned for more Silver Knights baseball. And leading off for the Norwich Unicorns, down 3-0 here in the top of the third will be the catcher, Joey Agar, followed up by CJ Egri, and then the top of the order, Ray Leonzi. And Andrew Chenevert on the mound. That's popped straight up as Kozel calls it off. And he must have been listening to the broadcast, used 2 hands on that one. So 1 pitch, 1 out again.
Now batting from the College of Holy Cross, the second baseman, number 22.
CJ Egri will step up here. And on the right side, Chenevert kicks and deals off speed, catches the outside corner for strike 1. Beautiful pitch by Chenevert right there. I think had Egri fooled. I think he was expecting fastball. And he gets him there on an off-speed pitch. Another one pulls the string, gets him way ahead of it. And Chenevert is quickly ahead, 0-2. Kicks and deals here for pitch number 3. Gets him to roll it over to the shortstop. De La Rosa drops it on the transfer, and that will go down as an E6. And that is going to be a bummer because that was a tailor-made out.
The center fielder, number 4.
And that's what happens here in Nashua. Innings like this where you give outs to teams, extra outs to teams, they have a way of coming back and bite you in the backside. We'll see if Nashua can snip this one in the bud here. As a leadoff hitter, Leonzi's there. He'll be followed by Ferrigno, then Buchiro. Hyde is in the 4th spot. Ferreira hitting 5th. Kramer 6th. Kovalchik 7th. And again, Agar 8th. Egri 9 at first base. That pitch outside for strike 1 to Leonzi, and it's 1-1. Egri taken off. Fosberg just can't get the ball, and Egri will get there standing up on a stolen base. Let's get you around the diamond. It's McDermott, De La Rosa, Kozel, and Walkley going from left to right. In the outfield, O'Connor, Giolongo, and McNamara. Fosberg behind the diff for Chenevert. And that one's inside and low. And it is currently 3-1. Good job there by Fosberg to keep Egri at second. We'll see if Chenevert can come with something. I would go high and outside with a fastball. He does, catches the corner, but not enough. And it's a walk to the leadoff hitter, to the number 1 hitter, Leonzi. And now we've got man at first and second, and 1 out here for Jackson Ferrigno. Let's hope this guy doesn't hulk up here. Don't forget to tip your waitress and try your veal. As that's in there high as ball 1. Chenevert trying to let this not get too far away from him. Nashua are already up 3-0. Don't want to give the lead back here. As Ferrigno just holding the bat down, looking like he's ready to bam-bam the ball. And double steal, and that one is fouled out of play. Good job there. So the 1-1 pitch as Agri is on second, Leonzi on first. We'll see if they come back with another double steal here. They're not. Off speed inside, doesn't break enough, and it's 2-1. Slight breeze going out towards right center as Ferrigno back with the bat down. Brings it back up. Chenevier kicks and deals. Steele sort of on. Now it comes down and in and out of the glove. Just can't get it. That's McNamara. And he comes up firing. And down the line it goes, but Fosberg there to get it. And a single has the bases loaded up here for Bucciero.
Fairfield University. The first baseman.
So far the error,
Matthew Bucciero.
not necessarily costly yet, but certainly problematic as there's one out here and the base is fully loaded, full of Sea Unicorns. That one is popped up as it looks like Luca Giolongo coming in at third. I'm shooting at center. And the throw coming in as Wakaleo cut it off. The runner at second, Leonzi, moves to third. The runner at third, Agri, moves home. And it is now 3-1 on the sac fly by Bucciero.
Brennan Hyde.
So Nashua certainly giving up one run to get the out. Now we'll have runners at corners up 3-1. And Brennan Hyde, who's already got a single and was left at second base in the second inning. Again, a very dangerous hitter that Nashua doesn't want to play around with. And that pass ball gets by Fosberg. And that will score Leonzi, and it is now 3-2 as Ferrigno moves up to second. So not the inning you wanted to have if you were the Nashua Silver Knights, as you've given 2 runs back so far. As Chenevier tries to get the final out. That one outside, catches the corner, and it's 1-1. Duo for Nashua, it'll be O'Connor, McDermott, and Figueroa. And that was hit right to the second baseman, De La Rosa, deep in the hole over to first, and they got him on the stretch. Late call by the ump, but I knew it up here, and that will end it. So 2 runs across the board as we head to the bottom of the third, and it is Nashua ahead 3-2. Again, GJ Mitchell here on Nashua ETV. Thank you for joining us on an absolutely beautiful Thursday evening. Right around 81 degrees as we just get a couple of ticks past the bottom of the hour, 6:36. I do want to take some time to congratulate the Merrimack TV and their staff for their big win last night for Best Web-Based Program in the ACM Home Video Festival. That's the Alliance for Community Media Home Video Festival that was held in Brooklyn, New York. So again, congratulations to Merrimack TV and their staff on that huge win for the best web-based program in the ACM Home Video Festival in Brooklyn, New York. That is absolutely stupendous. I love seeing local broadcasting get awards and acclimates for work done. I think, generally speaking, some of the best work is community broadcasting, because you put on all these little good, fun, interesting shows you can't necessarily do when you got a big corporate conglomerate banging you over the head with a hammer, telling you what type of things you can and can't produce. So I love local TV, local media. And it looks like we are going to have a new pitcher for Norwich. And as soon as I can figure out who that is, looks like it's going to be number 30, Alex Hunt. The 6-foot, 190-pounder from Iona University, the senior out of Wildwood Crest, New Jersey.
Alex Hunt.
Alex Hunt comes in on a 1-1 record, 4.32 ERA. This will be his 5th game he has entered. 8 1/3 innings, 11 Ks, 5 walks, 3 hits. Last time we saw him was on June 23rd here on a 5-2 win, 3 innings pitched. Gave up a hit, a walk, 3 strikeouts, faced 11 batters. So he's certainly familiar with the bump here at Historic Holman Stadium, as he will face off against Nick O'Connor, Jack McDermott, and then Pedro Figueroa.
The left fielder, number 1, Nick O'Connor.
Closing the book on Burrows, he went 2 full, 3 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, a walk and a K. We'll see if Hunt fares any different. That's an oppo slapper. We'll see if it drops down, and it does, but right into the glove of Kramer for out number 1. And that is a line out to the left fielder to start the 3rd.
The 3rd baseman, number 26, Jack McDermott.
And now Jack McDermott, who walked and scored. A lot of room in right center. Second baseman really playing to pull him, as he takes that pitch in there for strike number 1. The off-speed pitch misses outside, and it's a ball. 1-1 the count. McDermott batting .250, no homers, but 8 RBIs. Hasn't had as much pop as he did from last year, but certainly starting to swing into the things, no pun intended there, as that one is driven deep, and it is just foul as he pulled it down past the 311 sign in over the bullpen area of the Silver Knights. Just as I talk about him not having pop, almost proved me wrong, which don't worry, folks, that happens a lot. But a long out, Kim's at 1-2 now, as Hunt finally gets the sign, kicks and deals. Fastball outside, and it's 2-2. Breaking ball doesn't move, and the count runs full. So McDermott waiting the payoff pitch with Pedro Figueroa and Shane McNamara to follow. And McDermott swings through that high shed, and it is strike 3 and out number 2 here in the 3rd.
Now batting from Palm Beach, Atlantic, the DH number 55, Pedro Figueroa.
And Pedro Figueroa will step up from the right side. Norwich already into their bullpen. Pedro takes the first pitch inside for a ball. Figueroa going with those bright yellow batting gloves. Really stands out and has some pop on the contrast with the red jerseys. Very much unmistakable when he's walking around. The 2-0 pitch here from Hunt to Figueroa. That one in there for a strike, 3-1. Looks like that dropped in right around the knees. Figueroa couldn't do anything with it. This guy definitely, again, a dead pull hitter, and you can see the center fielder really playing straight up. That one's sliced off, foul out of play, and it's 2-2.
That foul ball is brought
And the
to you by
last
Safeway
ball he
Auto
hit went right by the
Parts.
performance. I'm not sure why
Shoe Safeway.
center fielder Leonzi isn't playing him more over to the left or Leonzi's right. We'll see if Figueroa can hurt him again. And that one is sliced but goes out of play. And it's still 2-2. Figueroa, excuse me, trying to get it out of the way. And it goes right over by our cameraman over in the first base well. And the count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Nashua ahead 3-2. And now a nice pitch in there, broke beautifully for Hunt, froze Figueroa, and he goes down looking for strike number 2 and out number 3. So 1, 2, 3 in order to go, the Nashua Silver Knights. And we head to the top of the 4th inning. 3-2 is your score. And I'll take this opportunity here to let you know that you can stay up to date with the Nashua Silver Knights on their social media by following across all social media sites. They're on TikTok, also on Facebook and Instagram at Nashua Silver Knights, and on Twitter at Silver Knights NH. And if you're looking for something to listen to in between games, go on to Spotify and catch the Summer Nights podcast, now being broadcast live Monday nights at 7 p.m. on WSMN out of Nashua. But if you're looking for the full podcast experience with the player profile included, go to the Summer Nights podcast on Spotify and download the episodes tonight. And if you are looking for tickets to any games here, go on to NashuaSilverKnights.com, click tickets, where you can pick the game of your choice. If you're interested in season tickets or maybe rent a suite or a party deck, give the office a call at 603-718-8883 and get your reservation booked today. And again, it's G.J. Mitchell here with the legend Tom King on Nashua ETV. Thank you for joining us and being a part
Leading off the 4th for Norwich.
of the broadcast. We appreciate that.
The shortstop, number 35, Dean Ferreira.
So it'll be Dean Ferreira, Jason Kramer, and Zach Kovalchik. They are due up here, down 1 run in the top of the 4th. And that's in there for a strike. Chenevier back again on the mound for inning number 4. Looks like they're slowly starting to get some action in the Nashua pen. And that one just missed ball 1 to Ferreira. So only 1 hit that last inning. But Norwich able to score 2. All started by the error. Has a 1-2 pitch coming here. Off speed, stays high, doesn't break, and Ferreira had to get out of the way, and the count is evened up 2-2. Chenevier kicks and deals. Outside pitch and just misses. I'm not sure where it missed or how it missed or what part of the multi-version that ball was thrown from, but it was certainly not a strike according to the home plate umpire, and it's a full count. That one's popped up. Could be trouble. But Shane O'Mac gets there. McNamara records out number 1. A F9 in your books. And that'll bring up Jason Kramer, the left fielder.
The left fielder, number 21, Jason Kramer.
Ferreira, a very tough hitter, batting .409 coming into this game. Kramer, not as good, but certainly an excellent hitter, batting .314. No homers, no RBIs, but still a solid hitter in the middle of the lineup as he takes that first pitch for a ball in on the knees. That thing looked like that broke perfectly as the umpire motioned over. Maybe it was a missed call. Maybe it was just a missed pitch. That's popped up and over to our left. He'll get out of play, and it's 1-1. Pretty good crowd here for Thursday at Historic Holman Stadium. And the 1-1 pitch. In there for strike number 2. And Chenevert looking to deal and get the second out here. Likes what he sees, kicks and deals. In there, and the dirt couldn't get him to chase, and it's 2-2. And the pitch foul to the backstop, and staying alive is Jason Kramer. Popped up to Cam Kozel, the second baseman, his first at bat in inning number 2. Zach Kovalchik on deck. Off-speed pitch couldn't break. Chenevert looks like he just lost the grip on it. And the count runs full, 3-2. Fastball in the dirt, and he walked him. So after going ahead, 2 strikes, ends up letting him off the leash as Kovalchik will come up with a runner on first. And we'll see. Nashua's been very, very susceptible to the stolen base. Already won here so far. Although I will say, of all the catchers on the roster, Fosberg has the one with the best cannon down to second, has framed that one nicely as Kovalchik in the hole 0-1. And that one sliced and gets out of play. And rockets back in. As a young fan will get that. And it's quickly 0-2. Kovalchik batting 157, no homers, but does have an RBI. And he chases, but did he go? And he did not. So 1-2 here as Kovalchik trying to hit behind the runner to move him over to second. We'll see if he can accomplish that here. Middle infield at double play depth in Dela Cruz and Kozel. And he swings, got him. Outside off-speed pitch. And that is out number 2. And a big out here in the top of the 4th. It'll bring up Joey Agar.
Now batting from Mount St. Mary's University, the catcher number 13, Joey Agar.
Agar gets up here with Kramer at first, 2 down. As the sun's starting to creep into Historic Holman Stadium from behind the third base area. As the first pitch to Agar was a ball. Chenevert with pitch 40, should say 56 right there was ball number 2. So far, a solid outing from Andrew Chenevert. On the 2-0 pitch, inside almost hits Agar, and it's 3-0. CJ Egri scheduled up next if they can't get the final out. That one in there, strike taking all the way as Agar. We'll see if Chenevert goes with another fastball or something off speed on the outside corner. If I'm him, I want fastball down and in. I want him to chase it. And he goes, fastball stays on the outside and just misses the corner. I thought that looked pretty good from our angle, but the umpire thought differently. And a 2-out walk has runners at first and second, and will bring up CJ Egri. So we're going to have a quick conversation here. Noah Wachter will come out and talk to Chenevert as well as Fosberg. Nashua leading only 1 run. Norwich through 3, 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. Nashua 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 error. Nashua getting their runs in the first, 2 in the first, 1 in the second. Norwich coming back in the 3rd inning. And getting 2 back as they look for more here in the top of the 4th. So the number 9 hitter who reached in the last inning on an error that started things also scored. And the first pitch he takes is a strike on the outside. Beautiful pitch by Chenevert. And Egri batting 183. No homers, does have 5 RBIs. We'll see if Chenevert, after that conversation with Noah Wachter, can get out of this. That one, he gets him on the off-speed pitch. Chasing it completely is Egri. And Chenevert 1 strike away from getting out of this Vlasic that he's in. The 0-2 pitch. Off speed, catches the corner and just missed. That would have rung him up. And it's a 1-2 count. Tough pitch to take by Egri there. So Chenevert checks over at the runners at first and second. Likes what he sees. Comes home with it. Fastball pulled down to third. Third baseman goes right over as McDermott steps on the bag to get the forced play. And 2 runners left stranded as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. 3-2 Nashua here from Historic Holman Stadium. G.J. Mitchell with the legend Tom King here on Nashua ETV. Shane McNamara, Cam Kozel, Will Fosberg coming up. Our crew tonight, broadcasting, Dan Young, directing, Michaela Savigno on the PTZ camera, Tim O'Neill on the camera, Dylan Smith at the first base, and Peter Johnson, our audio producer. Again, I am G.J. Mitchell here on the mic, bringing you all the action here from Historic Holman Stadium. He's already seen some fireworks. Shane Walkley with a home run. Back-to-back doubles in the first. Gave Nashua the 3-0 lead. And then in the third, an error. Brought in a couple of runs after. And that's where we sit here as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. And again, a real solid hitter, Shane McNamara, battling .247 with 2 homers and 16 RBIs. He's scheduled with Cam Kozel and Will Fosberg. A pretty solid 5, 6, 7 on any lineup here in the FCBL.
Leading off for the Silver Knights, from Eastern Nazarene College, the right fielder, number 47, Shane McNamara.
So Shane McNamara comes in against Hunt. Took over last inning for Jared Burrows. As McNamara fouls that one off. Looks like he might have gotten a piece of himself. Umpire taking a bit of a walk down third, making sure Shane and the catcher Agar are all right. Again, you may be battling on other teams, but no matter what, you're all one big baseball family. So when one person gets a little scuffed up, everybody tries to make sure he's all right before you go to the next pitch. I've always loved that about sports. And I always like sports, you always come down with a fastball down the middle for strike number 2. So McNamara in the hole right now. And that one looks like it might have fouled off the handle. And he barely stays alive. Not sure if that hit him or not, but By his reaction, it didn't, but certainly got a piece of the bat. And we'll do it again. The 0-2 pitch coming. Outside, and he misses, ball 1. And that one in the dirt. Shane McNamara waiting the 2-2 pitch. And that one, 3-2 pitch. That one's high. And he walked him. So after McNamara goes down 0-2, battled back, gets the walk. And the leadoff man aboard here for the Silver Knights as Cam Kozel comes up.
From Vanderbilt University, the second baseman,
fresh off of his stint at the MLB Combine, Prospects Combine in Arizona. Talked to him briefly after, said he was all dotted up at nodes and whatnot to look at his swing and mechanics as he takes that on the outside for a strike. He almost felt like he was in a Marvel movie, all looked like he was head to toe so they can get the camera thing working. I asked him to quote some lines from Avatar. He wasn't having it. As he swings through that one and it pings off the pole in the backstop and it's quickly 0-2. And as Tom King said, this has been sort of what's plagued at Nashua. Getting down quickly 0-2 and then not really having a strategy or not being able to effectively get your strategy out there. As Kozel goes down swinging 1-2-3. And that, like I said, has been sort of the problem. It's Nashua gets ahead in the count, gets a runner on with nobody out, and then it just starts to snowball where they just can't move runners over, can't get the bats going. Again, it looked good early, 3 hits, starting the game off, and then things have slowed down the last couple innings as that pitch is in there to Fosberg on the outside for a strike. So Shane McNamara at first, 1 out. And Hunt dealing right now. That one's outside, just missed. And it's 1-1. Checks on McNamara, takes another little bit of lead at first. We'll see if he goes. He doesn't, and Fosberg swings through it for strike number 2. Hunt looking at McNamara, now comes the set. Kicks and deals to Fosberg, and just low. 2-2, good battle here. As Fosberg looking to move his teammate over. Fosberg, one of the high spots here. Will battling 303, no homers, 3 RBIs though. As McNamara goes, Fosberg tries to go oppo slappo, trying to get it down the shortstop area and third base. Just couldn't, and McNamara has to go back. And we'll do it again, 2-2. But a good thought process there for Kyle Jackson and the Silver Knights, trying to manufacture runs on a bit of a hit and run. We'll see if they bring that again as Shane McNamara takes another bit of a lead. And he stays there. Fosberg pulls it a second. Could be a double play. Over to second for 1. Over to first for 2. They got him on a close play, and I 100% disagree with. I thought he was safe by at least a half a step. Brendan Martin does as well, and the umpire moves over to second base so he doesn't have to hear it. Unbelievable, absolutely pathetic that you won't stand there and take the call if you know you got it wrong. As Kyle Jackson will walk over to get an explanation And Brendan Martin is beside himself, walking back to the dugout. Kyle Jackson giving the business to the umpire. We'll see what happens here, as he was ready to walk away. Now he's continuing his conversation, as that seems to be getting a little bit heated. And that'll do it. So we'll head to a quick break here after 4 full. It is 3-2 Nashua over Norwich. We'll be back at Nashua ETV in just a moment. We're back here for the top of the 5th inning at Historic Holman Stadium. GJ Mitchell here with the legend Tom King here for Nashua ETV.
Oh no, I think the real legend is DJ Petey Pete. Spinning the tunes in between innings.
Love it, love it. We got to get him on the wheels of steel.
Yep.
So Tom, I got to ask you, you've been doing a couple other things, walking around the booth, shaking babies, kissing hands, as it were. And that one is sliced and could be dangerous and should be fouling out of play. And unfortunately, Connor couldn't get to it. But what does the vibe feel out there, and how does the team look from your view around the grounds?
Well, I think that they need to recover from defensive mistakes. That's hurt them in the past this year. When I saw, the play, you could kind of just sense that Chenevert was down a little bit. Didn't you get that feeling after De La Rosa's error?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I
just a little
so.
bit, but I got to
because
give him credit for bottling back.
Ever since that error, he lost his control.
Yep, but he did battle back in that to end that inning strong.
Well, he got the benefit of Albert De La Rosa taketh, and actually Albert De La Rosa giveth away, and he taketh. And he made that great play to end the inning, and that kind of saved him a little bit. But the 3 walks since, wild pitch, things like that. He's got a battle. He was much crisper. Where I am down the other way, there's not many fans on that side because it's a visiting side. So I think the feeling is, as they were watching, was they're just kind of waiting for something to happen.
Waiting for that other shoe to drop.
Waiting for something to happen,
Yeah, that one inning, that's been the killer for Nashua. Most of the time, unless they're getting really blown out, that one's a hot shot, just goes foul down the first base line. But I was going to say is, it's usually, if they're not getting blown out and it's just like a close game, it's a one inning that is the difference between a win and a loss, because it's one inning that gets away from them, and then they just knuckle down and figure it out. But they can't come back once that inning's gone.
Here's the thing.
Oh,
he got squeezed.
You got to be kidding me. You got to call that one.
He got squeezed.
Wow, that's terrible.
Yep.
Leonzi, the leadoff hitter, he'll take a walk down to first.
That's tough. He'll take a walk to first, and I guarantee he's going to try to get to second.
Oh, yeah, so, death taxes in there at second base
exactly.
very quickly.
And you know what? Last inning, if it wasn't for, Fosberg fouled off a pitch, it was a hit and run. But McNamara had that base stolen.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
And that would have stayed out of the double play.
And that one's popped.
I was surprised. First pitch swinging. I would have made Chenevert work a little bit. He's been, behind in the count here and there. I would have made him work a little.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially as knowing that he's he was a reliever earlier in the year. This is the 5th inning. This is when he might tire. But they gave him a break. He hits that hard ball because the outs have been kind of loud.
Well, we talk about it on the broadcast on the FCBL network side and on the podcast. Not just about patience at the plate, but having an approach, right? If you're going out there and your guy's gone through the lineup a few times, even if Chenevert's dealing right now, only thrown 71 pitches as of right now, he's still been very effective. And if you need to do something and get ahead, you need to see pitches. And like you said, he was a little bit shaky in that last inning. Make him throw you more. Don't jump at the first pitch. Make him bring it to you and at least get to a 1-1 count before you start thinking about something.
He's also got to worry about now the runner at first base because they're going to go.
So that's been the other Nashville problem is they focus too much on the runners and they throw the ball around. Focus on the guy at the plate. I don't care what the runner at second does.
Well, there's a hit and run that failed because that was a stolen base.
That was absolutely a stolen base. But that's the thing is, I mean, even though it's a one-run game.
I agree. I don't like the throws over, the throws over, the throws over. I think that you lose your focus. I think you try to get, especially with 2 outs. Don't even bother with the runner.
Correct.
Go after the hitter.
And he get him. Oh, you got to be kidding me.
That broke a little bit off. Broke a little bit off.
Ooh, I thought that was good. I actually expected Buchero to
if
chase
the other
that
pitch,
one.
If the other pitch wasn't going to be, I would have been whoa. They would argued that one.
Well, there is action in the Nashua pen as another stolen base attempt. Fosberg with a cannon down, and that hits as a shortstop. And nice job by McDermott to stay at third base. But a stolen base there by Leonzi. Now he's in scoring position, and a full count here to Buchero.
Yep, tough play.
Yeah.
You know, when the ball, again, I think the book around on the league is run on Nashua.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was that way last year as well.
Yeah, it was.
For a good chunk of the season. And that one high and missed, and now we've got first and second with 1 out.
This is what I see from Shedever, and I'm no pitching coach. I think this is going to be it for him. They're going to go to the bullpen. He started to aim the ball.
Yeah, he certainly tried to do that the last couple.
In that pitch right there, he tried to take something off it to aim it over the plate. Fire it.
Yeah.
He fires it, he probably gets a swing and a miss and a strikeout. And that comes from being tired. And, he kept him in the game, and that's all you want from your starting pitcher. No earned runs. Both those runs the other inning were unearned thanks to De La Rosa's error. So, did a good job. And here's another problem I see, and maybe you could help me with this. De La Rosa comes in here on the recommendation of a scout, and I covered Albert in high school. He was a good player, but I don't think he ever really reached his full potential, and that's why he wasn't drafted. Why all of a sudden is there a new shortstop at that stage at the end of June? Isn't that a position you want to shore up earlier and get that all straightened out? That's the one thing that I would wonder about.
So, to answer your question.
Yeah, was there a play? I mean, they moved a couple people around. Is there an injury here that we're not that's caused that?
No, I just think it is. I think it's just an addition. I think they just needed to shore up things, and it never hurts to bring in competition, right?
True.
If you know your job is going to be at risk, you're gonna write better. You're gonna cover things better.
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
no, I'm gonna quit.
All right, fair enough. Good enough. Good point. No, but I mean in general, right? But in general, if you're gonna have more of a focus, so bringing in a guy like Albert De La Rosa puts a guy like Ryan Giuliano, Cam Kozel, Brady O'Brien, Zach Scott, Jack McDermott, all on the middle infield. Guys,
well, here's
on
my
their
thing.
toes.
Here's
right?
my thing. McDermott's the second baseman.
No, I don't disagree with that. And you can say Cam Kozel's the second baseman also.
Right. So there's a problem right there.
Well, yeah, but you could all, but
now,
I think
Kozel
could be a third baseman. I think Kozel could be a third baseman.
Okay, so that's it. So, but again, I just think it's tough. I mean,
you got 3 spots for 9 guys.
Albert makes the spectacular play.
Yep.
But the easy play, he doesn't.
Right. And I'd be willing to bet you 99 times out of 100, it's a concentration thing.
Oh, no doubt about it.
And it's not that he's not trying to make the play. It's his brain is racing so quickly that he's trying to make the play after the play, and he just doesn't finish what he needs to do.
Right.
And that comes with age, and it comes with repetition and whatnot. And again, this is only his first couple of times here. I know he was here last year for a handful of games, but first couple of times back, he'll get into the swing of things as a new pitcher. Going to be Alex Misig taking over for Shenever here, as he's going to face off against Brendan Hyde. Again, a really tough batter to be coming in on as that first pitch beautifully
Yeah, but you know
placed.
what? A tough pitcher.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
This
should be a great battle.
Misig, a local, saved this team last year in the finals.
Yeah, he did.
And let's see if he can put out a fire here.
Yeah, Hyde's batting .352, a homer, 13 RBIs.
And he kills Nashua.
He does. And that one is
did.
roped.
Well, let's see. It might hang up. It
and
does.
Nicely done as O'Connor
They
corrals
had,
that for out
you know,
number
that's
2.
good placement. They had him played correctly, right? Some of the left fielders, the way Hyde's hit, they might be a little deeper. They might be shaded over more. Perfect positioning. He was able to make maybe what, 5 steps and make that catch.
Yeah, not a lot of top spin on that, as that was more of a line drive. We both thought it was going to drop, but it hung up just nicely for O'Connor for a much-needed out number 2 as Nashua looks to go another inning with stranding runners at first and second as they try to keep this a 1-run game here with Dean Ferreira up, the shortstop. That should be tailored and perfectly done by Nashua and Misig. What was that, 2 pitches, 2 outs?
3 pitches.
3 pitches, 2 outs?
I just think he's one of their best out of the bullpen. You know, he's really had a good summer so far. You know, I think with Alex is when you get into trouble with Alex is when he may go a few batters too long. But
yeah, he's definitely a spot guy. Come in, get it, and get out.
Right. You know, it's just I think that you could set up your bullpen pretty easily. Everything's in place. The only problem is at the plate. I think, you know, defensively too, they need to focus a little bit more, but they made some good plays, and you know, it's just consistency is a key, right, GJ?
Yeah,
I mean, you got to be consistent. The only problem is they've been consistent in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it has been as I said on the one of our podcasts, one of our episodes was the struggle bus is real, and it really is.
All right,
it has been a struggle bus here for Nashua, but you know what the good thing is, and what I love about this team, and more specifically this group of guys, is to a man, none of them have really given up. Like when I go and I talk to them, like pre-game or even after the game or in general, I just kind of gauge the vibe, kind of gauge how they're feeling, try and make sure that they're not getting too down on themselves or, you know, that visual struggling that you see on their face. None of them. They all seem to be coming in with bright shining smiles, a happy-go-lucky attitude, like we're going to get them, like it's all been very, very upbeat and positive, which has been made the season so weird and so strange because
it's one of the strangest things.
It really is, because this team comes in, like this team should be, if I'm looking at the standings right now, right?
They should be 5th.
They should be 5th or 4th, right in the mix. And because this vibe of this team is just really good. Reminds me of the vibe last year.
Yeah, I just feel, I feel bad for them. I really do. I do. Because I know they're trying. They're playing hard.
Yeah.
I've talked to a few of them. They, you know, just as you have. I mean, they're trying, and it's just been.
You know what it is? It's just
really difficult.
They talk about what's the line? Puck luck in hockey.
Yeah.
Right. This is just the baseball bounces. It's just not bouncing their way. Again, like I said, they were 1-6 at one point of 1-run games. I think they were 2 or 3 in like 13 and 2 or fewer run games. So it's really been a struggle for Nashua in close games. So, you know, we'll see what they can do here. Again, a great hitter up in Shane Walkley, who last time he was up absolutely destroyed a ball that went over the Dick's Sporting Goods sign. That thing was launched.
Exactly.
And he's got a good hitter's count here, 2-0. And Hunt misses outside, 3-0.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to give him anything good inside to pull. I think they're going to try to keep that away from him.
But if he's doing that, then why isn't the left fielder more down the line? Because if he's going to try and go opposite, and again, they didn't even give him anything, but if they're going to give him everything offside, then he goes opposite. That's going to go down the line.
Well,
he's not going to be able to pull the bat towards the performance.
I didn't say he was going to try to go opposite.
No. I'm saying from a defensive position.
Right, but
I'm saying from a defensive position.
Because
why wasn't Kramer more of it to the line? Because he gets a hold of one. That's going there.
Because Walkley doesn't go the opposite way. That's why.
Fair.
That's why.
But
he doesn't go the opposite way. So they don't feel the need to have to play him that way.
As that one's right back up the
That's
box.
This
should be 2, 4, 6, and they don't.
Oh, an error.
There we go. De La Rosa into second base, slides him.
Not bad.
Yeah, we'll take
a break.
We'll take that. Hey, Nashua has been very much in favor of giving extra outs in teams. It's nice to know that teams are now sharing the
mistakes.
Love.
Yeah, exactly.
Sharing the love and giving hits and runs and opportunities back.
Exactly. So you end up with a leadoff walk, but you still make it count because you've got a runner at second base in De La Rosa, who ran hard. Give him credit. I thought he had the play beat out at first base anyway. But he ran it hard and forced the quick throw, and it goes right by into the photographer's area. There are a lot of we got our camera people down there. We've got photographers down there. It's a multimedia night here at Holman Stadium.
It is a plethora of people in that little squared off area. As this will be Luca Giolongo, the leadoff hitter. Nick O'Connor.
I believe that's Dylan Smith down there at first base.
That would be right.
We will be broadcasting on July the 4th at 11 a.m.
Nice.
Game here at Holman Stadium with the Silver Knights. It was such a great event last year. Drew a couple thousand people in the morning on July 4th. Sun splash day. I believe the weather's supposed to be good. Looking ahead at the long range forecast.
Oh yeah, I was in the dunk tank all last
yes,
year.
You were. That's right.
I'm not sure which is red last year, the jerseys or my face.
Yep.
I was certainly burned.
I spent a few moments on the field like I did today, and not going to advance the runner that way.
That should.
Oh,
he's
going to
go.
Safe. Look at that.
Nicely done. So back-to-back errors. And that one's going to be an E5. So now runners at the corners for Nashua, and I'll be honest. Okay, Tom, here it is. The over-under, 2.5, and that is the pitches before Luca Giolongo is at third. You going over-under?
I'm going to say over.
Oh, over 2.5.
Over 2.5.
So you think it's going to go three or more?
On the third pitch.
Okay, all right. As we get a bit of a powwow on the mound between Agar and Hunt. I wouldn't be surprised if Luca goes on the first pitch. In fact, if I'm Nashua, that's exactly what I do. More importantly, if I'm Nashua, I am dropping a bunt down third base, and I am watching everybody be safe because...
Can O'Connor do it, though?
Yes, he can.
That's the question.
I don't...
See, a guy like Giolongo, you figure knows how to bunt because he's...
Every one of these guys should.
Because he's got that speed. But
right down third base. The third baseman is back in Manchester right now. And he slices one. That should be deep enough to score a run. We'll test his arm as that will come in and no throw. And Nashua takes a now 2-run lead. As it's 4-2 on the sac fly.
Yes, and what did O'Connor do? He went the opposite way, which is a great thing. Now, I always joke about O'Connor because his music, his walk-up music earlier in the year was a Spanish tune, right?
Yep.
So I said to him, what's an Irish guy doing with a Spanish tune walking up? Do you know the answer?
I do not.
He is part Cuban.
Ah, I did not know that.
How about that?
I did not know Nick O'Connor was part Cuban.
Yep.
As I check on Luca, he gets back.
Well, Luca's going to be running.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
we had one pitch, so now we've got it. This is pitch number 2 coming up. So we'll see if Luca goes on this one. As he's almost halfway to downtown right now.
Yeah, he is, almost. Always think when that right foot approaches that point of the grass.
Yep, that's your sort of mark.
That's my mark for that they're thinking about going. Not that time, so that's 2 pitches, so I win here.
That's right, you get the dub for this
one. I get the dub, how about that? Yes, I don't win very often, GJ.
We'll see if McDermott can do anything here. 2 outs. Got a lot of room right up the middle, and that one's on the outside. That's a strike. Beautiful pitch there by Hunt.
That was a good pitch. McDermott, though, smart hitter. Won't try to do too much with the ball. He'll let the pitcher dictate where he's going to try to hit it.
That one's outside and not going as Giolongo.
No, he might have seen the pitch. He might have saw where the pitch was going and said, I don't think so. So we'll see.
Well, on a 2-1 count, certainly something you might see Hunt throw an off-speed pitch, so wouldn't be surprised if Luca decides to take off on this one if it's something that is down and in.
Foot's not quite there yet.
He's gone. Oh, nope. I thought he was.
Foot wasn't there.
Oh.
Get that foot right out at the point.
Well, that pitch missed as a ball, and it's 3-1, so a hitter's count here to McDermott. With 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, 1 run already across the board, 4-2 Nashua. 3-1 pitch here from Hunt, and he checks on Luca at first.
Yeah, I don't think you would go on 3-1.
No.
No, so I don't know why they threw over there. It's a case where you really should focus on your hitter.
Agreed. I think maybe just to keep him that half step, a little bit step closer.
Yep. No, he is going.
Oh, wow.
Took ball 4.
All 4.
I'm surprised he was going. So McDermott walks for the second time.
Yeah, last time he walked in the first, he scored on a Pedro Figueroa double, who steps into the batter's box from the right side with those flashing yellow gloves. I would love to see this kid hit one over the all-town fresh sign.
Did you sell that board?
What was that?
Did you sell that board?
No.
Okay.
No, I just want to see him hit it. I just think that'd be an awesome sight to see. As that off-speed pitch placed there beautifully by Hunt.
I just want to see them hit one over the brick wall. I mean, it's right down there.
I know, it's just such a short porch.
It's
so tantalizing, too.
I mean, I've seen,
he got a balk here.
Yep, that was called by Jeff Kleiner. Called the balk. Pitcher turns around and says something to him.
So that pitch didn't count. So the count remains 0-1.
So now with a 4-2 lead, you have a chance to break this game kind of open with a base hit.
And why isn't the left fielder more over to center on the pull side, as that's in there for a strike, and Figueroa now down 0-2? Probably
because he figures that Figueroa is going to try to pull one down the line. 0-2 now. Figueroa down in the count again.
This has been a killer for Nashua if they're unable to get
scores
around.
This is where you've got to make hay here, and he's going to call time.
Time's called as he steps off the mound. Giolongo at third, McDermott at second. Figueroa waiting the 0-2 pitch from Hunt here in the bottom of the 5th.
Nice gap out there in left center.
And he slices that one just behind it.
Again, if he could gap one.
No, that's what I said.
Automatically plate 2, you're right, but I think that they may figure he's going to try to pull down the line, but.
Well, didn't he hit one off the performance rehab sign before?
Yeah,
why aren't they playing to that side?
Yeah.
I mean, you're putting it right in his wheelhouse if you leave all that grass out there. And that one just off, couldn't frame it as Agar.
Yeah, good job by the catcher to try to frame that. Agar tried, right? He tries, he pulls it in.
The MFA even didn't want that that picture.
Yeah, tried to pull it in. Didn't quite get it.
Looked like a bungee jumper trying to come back in there with a fastball.
There would have been some screaming if that was a strike.
From you and me both on the 1-2 count. Here, Figueroa slices it out of play. Yeah, the Holman hecklers would have been out in full force.
No doubt about it. But Figueroa just a little behind. Just a little late. And now you wonder if he goes off speed, will Figueroa be out in front because he knows he's been late on the fastball. Let's see.
Yeah, it would be a good spot to throw an off-speed pitch, really get him out on the front foot.
It really would.
He goes right back to the fastball.
With
a little tail.
Yeah, a little tail.
Had at least it wasn't a full, but it certainly wasn't soft.
He wasn't trying to throw it down Broadway.
No.
So let's see what he's going to throw here. Again, 2-2 count. I'd still go with the off speed.
I go high and inside. I run him right in on his hands.
Tie him up.
Absolutely.
Yep. They don't target it. They target off the plate.
Down and away. So after going 0-2, Figueroa doing a good job battling back now. He's got a count full. So 3-2, 2 outs. Runners will be off. Luca Giolongo at third. Jack McDermott at second. So 3-2 count, and he walks off. Takes a quick time. If I'm Hunt, I still bust him inside. I try to fight him inside, taking anything away from down and away or in his kitchen.
Yeah, he got McNamara, dangerous hitter on deck. So let's see.
Inside, low, and he got him. Strike 3.
Off speed, but you cannot look at anything that is near the plate. With 2 strikes and 2 runners in scoring position, you cannot do it. And unfortunately, we've seen too much of that this season from this team. They're guessing. They're trying to just look, where's the ball? If the ball is close, swing at it.
Yeah.
And they're not doing it. And unfortunately, it's cost them a lot.
Yeah, especially that opportunity right there as Nashua goes down after only scoring 1 run that inning. And that's really been the killer throughout the whole season. Is from the game 1, anytime they've had runners in scoring position, they haven't been able to capitalize. And this has really hurts even more because they were given 2 extra outs with the back-to-back errors. So they theoretically got 5 outs that inning.
They did.
And still only were able to put 1 across
run.
the plate.
Yep.
And that's been the problem for Nashua from tip to tail this whole season.
Yeah, because what it does is the pitchers know that they've got to, they've got a fine line, They have to be solid. There's no margin of error. And there's no margin for error in a lot of things with this team right now, and that's part of the problem, But again, it'd be nice to see them come away here at home, snap that streak, because they've got another stretch where they've got a bunch of home games coming up. They're on the road tomorrow night. They're back here Saturday. They're back here Sunday. They have Monday off. They're here on the 4th. They go on the road on the 5th, and then they're here for consecutive games next Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. This has been a pretty brutal home stretch of which Nashua hasn't been able to capitalize on.
Not at all.
From basically the beginning of the season, but leading from the 9th of this month, 9th of June, 9th, 10th, 12th through 15th, 18th, 20th through 23rd, 25th, 29th. Like, it has been home cooking. They just haven't been able to capitalize.
Tons of home games.
Yeah.
They just weren't able to do it. They lost 2 home run derbies because they couldn't get the walk-off. They did get 1 walk-off that they thought would turn their season around. Didn't work out that way. So, and now Alex Misig, who should have a 4-run lead, is now got a 4-2 lead, and anytime he puts a runner on base, the tying run comes to the plate. But we are in the 6th, so we got plenty of time left in it. Plenty of time. There's 2 from the 5th on. It's a different FCBL game always.
Oh, absolutely. That I agree with wholeheartedly. As he runs the count 1-1 here to the 6-hitter, Jason Kramer and Zach Kovalchik and Joey Agar scheduled to appear in this inning. Misig with that weird herky-jerky motion with the ball. He almost shows the ball and then whips it around and brings it back quickly. Sort of an unorthodox snap motion that he has.
Was the ace of Nashua North staff a few years ago.
That's popped up. McNamara ranges to his right. 5 to 7 steps. Corrals it carefully and easily for out number 1.
Now batting from Sacred Heart University, the right fielder, number 32.
Finally, some summer weather. We had April and June.
I had told Cam Cook, the general manager, that I was on the 15-day DL from tarp duty, from pulling every muscle in my body, including muscles I didn't know existed.
That's the one thing that I don't have to deal with.
No, you do not.
I feel bad for everybody who's going to go out there and
No, you do
it.
not. Don't lie. Don't lie on the broadcast. It's the 0-2 pitch
just,
swinging through it is by Kovalchuk. Yeah, it was for last week or the stretch of last week or so. There was, I think, 7 out of 8 games I was here, or 8 days in a row.
Right.
Here pulling the tarp, whether it be in the morning or the afternoon or sometimes both. And 1, 2, 3. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night by Misig. And as quickly 2 and away as Agar will step off from Kovalchuk's swinging K. Misig dealing right now, and he's flying and just absolutely cruising.
Yeah, he sure is.
Now batting from Mount St. Mary's University, the catcher number 13, Joey Agar.
Well, we'll see if we can change that weather coming up after the 4th and get some, starting with the 4th and get some warm weather in here. I think you might be pulling the tarp again, or whoever replaces you will be pulling the tarp on Sunday. I think we're going to get hit.
I don't think there's a replacement. I think I'm just going to put a clip on my wheelchair and just have at it.
That's it.
Grab my walker and go. 1-1 is ball. 2-1 here to Joey Agar. Misek working
so
very
I gotta
quickly.
ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before the season starts, do they practice that? Pulling the tarp. Do they get ready together and say, okay, this is what we got to do? Because for a lot of them, it's the first time they've ever done it. Right?
So there's a drive to center field. Luca Giolongo catches 1, 2, 3. In order go the Norwich Unicorns. To answer the question, no. We basically have our media day.
Yeah.
We sometimes will do one quick tarp pull to kind of get it
that's
how
not bad.
it goes,
Right, so
just to
try.
kind of see.
All right, so
you kind of show, but then generally speaking, it is.
That's what I wanted to know. That's not bad. That beats not doing it at all.
We do try to get one in so we can, see how it's done and get the process, but honestly, it when you're in the moment, you just kind of do it. I mean, I know there was one game earlier we got, I think, an inning and a third, or maybe even like the top of an inning and a third of an inning in the bottom, and it started raining and then lightly and then came down in buckets. By the time I went from the broadcast booth to the field, it was already cats and dogs on the field.
Okay, now here's another question.
And I was soaked
That's
by the
just
time
it.
I got to the tarp.
Right. That's one of the reasons why, if you can't get it on there quick enough and you get the downpours that we've had, you're screwed. You know, it's, one question yesterday, multiple downpours. Was the tarp, were there enough people here to put the tarp on the field? Probably not, right?
So I'll be honest, there have been a couple of days when there's been nobody here, or just so the tarp doesn't normally stay because you don't want to burn the grass.
Right, exactly.
So if the tarp, like yesterday or Monday, I'll give you Monday as an example.
Yeah, no tarp, right?
Monday there was no tarp. So if there was no tarp Monday, there was no tarp Tuesday. Then when they come in on Wednesday or whenever the everything clears, they'll go and work on the field, add the quick dry, take care of the grass. I mean, I will say, Nashua does a great. I will give credit to their grounds crew here.
Jim Mulvey at Park
they do a fantastic job.
He's leaving Holman, by the way.
Yep, yeah.
He's going to Stello Stadium, where we do a lot of our soccer, lacrosse, field hockey, and football broadcasts. But the thing is I did a Legion game on Tuesday that was scheduled for here.
Yep.
And I drove in, and the field looks the same way it does now. And no game here. And I said, okay, it's got to be at Bishop Girton because it's Coffee Post. And the coach of Coffee Post teaches at Girton, so I know he's got access to the field. So I went over to Girton, sure enough, they were playing there. But they were told that the field just wasn't in shape. And that tells me that there was no one here Monday to put the tarp on. That's why.
Oh, so then, I know that I know the tarp was off Monday because I was here Monday.
Right.
As Shane McNamara takes the first pitch for a strike in the bottom of the 6th inning, Nashua leading 4-2. I know the tarp was off, so it must not have been able to get fixed correctly or fixed in time to get a game.
Yeah, exactly.
And honestly, that one's inside. Shane definitely goes. He's 0-2, trying to hold up there. I'm torn. Like, I don't mind doing the tarp. Like, it was what it is, whatever it is, what it is. Like, if that's part of our job as interns, I'm happy to do it, right? It's.
But on an off day, it's a question.
But it's who does it. Yeah, and that's that's sort of the rub there. There's
nobody here.
Is it us, and we got to call people in to do it, to pull it, but then we've also got to have them stay here and hang out and pay them to determine if we're going to be able to pull it off. So there's that. There's a kind of that. That's
the issue, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
and it is what it is. I mean, we can't always have it on, can't always have it off, and us do it or the city do it. So it just kind of, we do the best we can here as interns and go from there.
Guarantee the city is not going to be able to staff enough people to put the tarp on. You need a full-time grounds crew, right, to do that. I mean, a full-time multi crew.
You could probably get it if you got 8 to 10 guys. We could probably do it in 8 to 10 guys.
Right.
So McNamara struck out for the first out, and Cam Kozel takes the first pitch on the outside for a strike. Yeah, it's
the problem with the city is those 8 to 10 guys are all out doing other things.
Yeah, correct.
That's the problem. So
I mean, I honestly, I would love for Nashua to give us a master lease, to be able to allow us to be able to take and maintain and whatnot with the field and keep them in on, like, be a collaboration, but let us do the things we need to do to the stadium, the field, make it more modern, upkeep it a little bit, whatnot. Like, let us get involved in there a little more, and let us, like, you know, bring things into thing. I mean, Historic Holman Stadium is said that way for a reason. There used to be concerts. Tina Turner, Jay Giles Band, the Aerosmith was here. Like,
I was here for Tina Turner.
Like, how cool would it be? Whitney Houston was here back in the day.
Yep.
How cool would it be here to bring? And I know there are a ton of great and bigger venues in and around this area. I understand that, all the new modern things. But that would be really cool to bring acts here as a special as Cam on the strike him out, throw him out. They get him for out number 2. But I just think it would be kind of cool to have bands come back and really make Historic Holman Stadium back to what it used to be. That place to be on Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. You know?
I don't see a problem from holding them here. I see a problem in today's day and age of getting the acts
right,
here.
and that I understand too, and I get that.
Because of just what you said.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen,
there's other bigger venues that they can go to.
There are, yes, very much so. I don't know. I just think it would be kind of a neat thing to be able to, and again, I think that starts with, with being able to get the ability to hold things here and whatnot.
Right.
That one's outside. Fosberg pulled the first one he saw down the first base line. It's 1-1. But I'll tell you, if you get a chance to come out here, please do. It's an absolutely gem of a stadium. It is the hidden gem in Nashua. It is a beautiful place to come and watch a game. Yes, I do work for the Silver Knights, but I will tell you the ownership group and John Creedon Jr. and company, they put on a phenomenal program here and show, from concessions to the in between innings stuff. And the baseball may not be good. It may only be 7-23 from a record, but you're never really out of a game. And the guys are always trying. It's not like they're giving up and putting their heads down, when they get down. So it really is a great atmosphere here at Historic Holman Stadium.
And that atmosphere was calmed with the third strike swing and a miss as they struck out the side.
I was not going to go there, but thank you, Tom.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
The one thing that John Creedon doesn't want to see is he doesn't want to see that beautiful scoreboard out in left field end up the way the Holy Cross scoreboard did. Have you seen that?
I was talking to John Creedon earlier, and I was asking him how things are going. He's like, he goes, the baseball team's great. They're sitting in first place, second place right now. Give me a sec, I'll tell you. They are sitting in second place, 20-9 behind Vermont, 22-8. But I was asking him how things are going. He's like, great baseball-wise. Off field, you get the scoreboard blowing up. You've got three broken legs on their team. One was a player earlier rounding second base.
That happened down in New Britain. And John Creedon was here, and I saw him on the phone. And I knew, and that was what it was about. Because it was a devastating injury that actually was so bad.
They stopped the game. They didn't pick it up.
They suspended the game.
Yep. They also had the last couple of games had two of their outfielders collided, and one kid got his shin broken to the point where the bone was sticking out.
If people don't know what we're talking about with the scoreboard at Worcester
caught on fire.
Field caught on fire, electrical fire, caught on fire. Actually, literally, almost blew up.
Yeah.
And you can probably go find some photos of it somewhere on the internet. It's all charred and everything else. They put a temporary one up somewhere, I think, but they announced the score after every half inning. And that's about it. I don't know what they do for the count and for how many outs.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure what they do on that. I honestly didn't ask, but I mentioned there were two broken legs, two players. Well, their general manager broke his leg, a slight break, not as bad as the other twos. Dave did, doing tarp duty.
How did he do
that? Hence why
doing
an old
guy
like me is on the 15-day DL. And so Dave, I don't know what is broken. I was talking with John Creedon. He said so three broken legs, a blown up scoreboard, and they're in second place. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the FCBL.
Boy, that's unbelievable.
Oh, isn't it? Unreal. And like I said, all things going wrong off the field, but on the field, sitting in second place. What a time to be alive if you're a Worcester.
I've got Chris Hall in my booth. He thinks he's going to be able to talk to me, but he's not, which is always a good thing. So.
Awesome. Well, that first
As he
pitch,
leaves.
as Misig is there.
Now he's going to bother you.
That's all right. He's pitching to Egri. Egri, Leonzi, and Ferrigno scheduled here in the top of the 7th.
I would imagine there's a little stirring in the bullpen that this will be Misig's last inning here in the 7th.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be some stirring in both bullpens. Luca Giolongo goes back, but he'll camp under it for out number 1.
The thing is if Luca misjudges the ball out in center field, he'll catch up to it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Luca Giolongo is
I
a
could
pro's pro.
I could watch him play every day. It's just so much fun to watch. I
love watching Luca Giolongo play. In fact, I hated watching him play against us last year.
That's true.
And told him that when he came here. I said, I'm so glad you're on our team because I did not like watching. He was a killer, Nashua killer last year. And a broken bat to shortstop. De La Rosa over to first with the cannon, and it's quickly 2 outs here in the top of the 7th.
De La Rosa got down, and I thought for sure I was going to say, I hate to say it, see that ball go right under his glove. Because I didn't know he could get down that low.
And he was able to do it. And confidence in him.
He was able to do it and make the play. Like I said, he can make those plays. So he's got, that ability. Now, if they can work with him at the plate, he was a dangerous hitter in high school.
Yeah, he could certainly turn into a stud in the college level if they can get his bat turned around. You know what it is with Figueroa? I don't want to say he's lazy, but I think sometimes he's complacent, right? Almost thinks because he makes those plays look so routine and so clean and so smooth that you just take it for granted that you're going to make the play.
Right.
And that you pick the glove up or you pick your back up or your butt up, off the ground instead of keeping it down, staying with the ball, and then following through. Right, it's the fundamentals. Did he go around? Yeah, he did, obviously. And that pitch is in there for strike number 2. Here to Ferrigno.
What's Misig throwing? About 20 pitches in 3 innings?
Yeah, that was pitch 20. Nicely done. This would be pitch 21. And he gets him.
How about that?
Bingo, bango, bongo. 3 up, 3 down.
Vintage Alex. Vintage Alex Misig.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He has gone 8 up, 8 down as he's been called in for relief work. And he's done a phenomenal job here at Historic Holman Stadium for the Silver Knights.
Who's Hall bothering now? Oh, me. I asked the question. He's bothering me. See, he doesn't understand.
You can put him up. Put Hall on. We'll chat with him.
No. We're not doing that. He's no longer the committee. He doesn't count anymore. That's one thing Chris Hall doesn't know. He doesn't count anymore. See what I mean?
All right, fair enough.
Yep.
Let's see. Shane Walkley, Albert De La Rosa, Luca Giolongo. Tom, what are you looking out of the 8, 9, 1 hitters here in the bottom of the 7th?
Well, I'd like to see Walkley, obviously, make use. He's all the way down in the 8th spot, which is a far cry from where he was before. He's homered and walked. I'd like to see Walkley get on. Let's see what De La Rosa does to get Walkley on. And the curious thing is, if Walkley gets on, will they run for him? That's the other thing I want to know. So we'll see. But you've got 3 guys that could do some damage for Nashua in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Well, if you decided you did want to run for Shane Walkley, that wouldn't be a bad thing necessarily, because you could slide Figueroa out of the DH slot, put him at first, and then slide somebody into the DH position if you wanted to do something with that runner, if you just wanted to be a DH or whatnot. So you could certainly put somebody in there with some speed, maybe a Zach Scott, Ryan Giuliano, Scott Brown, even Ryan Caulfield. Any of those guys could fill in as pinch runners.
Walkley can carry a team with his bat. He's done it earlier this year. We'd like to see him do it again.
Walkley is, I would say, this year's version of Kyle Wolf. Just a little less pop consistently.
Little less.
As that pitch outside, like you said, they're probably not going to pitch him inside at all.
They were starting to figure Wolf out mid-season last year, and then he made the adjustment and got back on top.
And that'll hit him.
And there we go. Walkley's on. Let's see what they do. My guess is they're not going to run for him.
So the only reason I would say if you do keep him is because of the defense at first. And I would rather take that in a 2-run game.
In a 2-run game, I guess you're right.
Especially where you do have, he's the leadoff runner. So it's not like there's 2 outs. You only got 1 out. and you're up by runs, so you almost want to play more defensive.
All right, so here we go, right? All right, this is the last 2 innings. And after this pitch, I'll explain what I'm going to talk about. All right, 2 errors, 2 walks, a balk, and now a hit by pitch, 2 out of the last 3 innings. You got to take advantage of these things. Those
Absolutely.
are gifts. Those are gifts.
That one's right back on the box. Should be dangerous, and
it
it
is.
As Walkley will go over to third, and that should be an error.
That
should be an
second
error
baseman,
on
E4. E4. Or is it? Yeah. No, is it?
Well, the second baseman, I would say it should be an E4, and that would be correct. Because he came over to get it.
Luca Giolando.
Although I would say, I don't know why the shortstop didn't go for it, because he would have been going from short towards first.
He would have.
That should have been his ball.
Right. Now you got runners at first and third, nobody out. More gifts from Norwich. You better enjoy Christmas, Nashua Silver Knights. That's the thing. This is Christmas in June right now. Norwich has made multiple mistakes over 2 out of the last 3 innings, and Nashua's only cashed in with 1 so far. Let's see if they can do more here in this inning.
And they did give that an E6, so that was on the shortstop, not the second baseman. And a runner goes, and a nice stolen base there by De La Rosa. So he gets some thievery, and now 2 runners in scoring position here for Luca.
Infield is in at the corners. They are back up the middle looking for, well, there's no double play to be had.
Yeah,
so
that's really surprising.
That's really
I don't
strange.
know why.
Why aren't they all
Ferreira,
in?
Yeah, Ferreira and Egri should be inside to
should be
prevent
in.
the run.
Should be on the grass.
Yeah.
You got a slow runner at third base.
I don't care if you've got
A ground ball to short is not going to get, I mean, do they disrespect Walkley's speed that much? Where a ground ball to short is going to, they think they can get him out?
Yeah, this is perplexing. I don't know
Really
why they'd be
is.
back. That is a completely wrong defense to be in.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Very, very strange here.
And that one in there for a strike on the outside to
That's
Luca.
a pitch that Luca needs to drill towards right field.
Oh, yeah, take that the opposite field, go right over the shortstop. I mean, second baseman Egri's head and plop it right.
You hit a line drive there, you're going to score a run one way or the other, right?
Another 1-2 pitch here from Hunt.
The one thing you don't want is the punch out. That's the swing you wanted on the previous pitch. Inside out swing, a nice one by Luca, but he fouls it off.
Luca only batting .265, no homers, 3 RBIs.
Yeah, I'd like to see that average get up.
Yeah, I'd love to see that up just a little bit more. He's certainly a better player than his average shows.
He was in the 280s about a week and a half ago because he had gotten hot.
That one's down and away and missed, and it's 2-2. So Walkley at third, De La Rosa at second. No outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Nashua ahead of Norwich 4-2. Here on Thirsty Thursday, coming to you from Historic Holman Stadium. J.J. Mitchell, the legend Tom King here on the call. Outside and missed. Luca with a super set of peepers there, and the count runs full after he had it 0-2.
Tough pitch.
When do you go here? Fastball or something off speed and away?
I go fastball. I try to punch him out.
As do I. I go fastball down and away or down and in.
I just try to blow it by him.
And he pulls it to third. And the worst place to go if you were Luca, right at the third baseman.
The third baseman is in. And Luca, that was a defensive swing on the off-speed. He was thinking fastball as well. He got the off-speed pitch. If he was ready for, if he was looking off-speed, that ball would have been hit to left field and there'd be a run in.
And he hits it right at Ferrigno, who fired it over to Buchiro and keeps the runners where they are. So a very useless out for Nashua. And he'll bring up Nick O'Connor. And O'Connor hits it to the first baseman. And back-to-back useless outfield outs by the corner infielders.
Unbelievable.
That's a story of the Silver Knights here in 2023, though.
Just don't do those things.
The third baseman, number 26, Jack McDermott.
Well, let's see what McDermott does. The only problem is 2 outs. I don't mind having McDermott up there. I think McDermott's the smartest hitter here. But what's he going to do with it? With 2 outs, he's got to put the ball in play.
That's a balk right there.
And there's another gift. There we go. That's the second one called by Jeff Kleiner. He's explaining now what the balk was.
And the coach is trying to figure out what the call is. And it looks like he's not coming completely to the set. So he's coming low and not coming completely through the set.
Yeah,
so
see,
that's an interesting...
What he's doing is he's coming down with the glove and moving the glove forward.
Right.
And that's what he says. Kleiner just motioned that way. He moved his arm forward.
Right.
That's what he's doing with the pitch. So you got to be looking for it if you're an umpire, and they are. They are looking. They are watching. So unfortunately, 2 balks and one. This one makes a difference and allows a run in, and now it's a 5-2 game.
Yeah, it looks like Kyle Jackson and the manager having a quick conversation before we resume. So a balk to run in. Nashua's lead extended to now 3 runs, so it's 5-2. 2 outs and a runner at third. And Jack McDermott's first pitch he sees.
Just a little late.
Yeah.
That foul ball is brought to you by Safeway Auto Glass. From shattered windshields to broken
But yeah,
windows,
certainly before that run
Safeway
came in, was something we've seen happen to Nashua a couple of times as Jack gets something in his eye and steps out of the box, I should say. But that's something we've seen a number of times. Nashua gets a runner at first and second, no outs, second and third, no outs, first and third, no outs, a 1 out, and they can't capitalize on extra outs or moving the guys over and getting runs and manufacturing hits.
But all that said, they're still up 5-2.
Yes, that is huge.
Christmas in June, as we said before.
Nashua, though, living on the edge over the last couple of innings before Misig came in. As that one's inside and low, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike here to Jack McDermott. Pedro Figueroa up on deck next. I will say that the top 3 hitters are the top 2 hitters are 0 for 6 with a sac fly and an error. So they were on base a couple of times, but generally speaking, 0 for 6.
McDermott's
walked twice. Yeah, that's right. But the top 2 hitters, 0 for 6.
So I look at it the other way. The top 3 have gotten on base
4 times.
4 times, right? Well, 3, right? Because the block doesn't count.
3.
So only 3. An error and 2 walks.
Still not great.
No, not great, but
getting better.
Let's see.
As a 3-1 pitch here. So McDermott will get a hitter's pitch from Hunt. And he slices that up and over the shortstop's head. That should be 2 for McDermott as he hits the bag at second. And a stand-up 2-out double for Blackjack McDermott.
And there's your 6-2 lead that we were looking for, right?
Yes, sir.
Courtesy of the balk and courtesy of a RBI double by Jack McDermott. And the Silver Knights can taste it. Up 4 runs with 2 innings to go after the end of this inning.
And
maybe an inning and a half.
And so that will bring up Pedro Figueroa, and looks like we're going to have a pitching change here.
So talking about legends, we'd like to congratulate the incoming group of Legends of Holman that the Lions Club will induct on July 4th in the evening. The 3 people who will have their names and likeness on a plaque that is just inside the gate at the concourse here at Holman will be Don Grandmaison, former speedy running back for National High School back in the late 1950s. Don LaLiberty, who played in the 60s at Bishop Girton. He was a member of the first BG football team that played their games here at Holman. Here and there, they played at BG 1 year, and then they played at Holman a couple of times. And also a guy I covered for many years as a head coach at BG Baseball, Mike Lozo, who, when he took over as the head coach at BG Baseball, wanted all his games played at home if he could do so, and he did. He lives right nearby. And nobody, I don't think, in this city loves Holman Stadium more than Mike Lozo does. So congratulations to all three of those men. They'll be inducted on July 4th, and I believe that'll probably be we do a lot of things here on ETV. I imagine that might be one of the things involved with the July 4th broadcast.
That is awesome. Yes, congratulations to all three of them. Certainly a great honor. Again, we were talking about some of the history here at Historic Holman Stadium, all the concerts, the games, the different sporting events that have been held here. Football was held here, baseball's held here. This was on the parade route for the 1992 Olympic torch. So
yes,
this is a very historic little ballpark that, like I said, is really the gem of Nashua.
I believe it just wasn't the 92, wasn't it? I believe in the National Pride were here, they had the torch come by too.
Was it 92 or 96? Maybe it was 96.
Well, it would have been 96.
Maybe it was the 96 one, because that was in Atlanta.
Would have been 96. There was no Pride here. I believe it was 2002. Because that's when there was a team here, and they ran the torch. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the torch came by here and through the stadium.
1996, that was it.
That was it.
I said 92, I was off by 4 years. Because 96 was in Atlanta, that makes sense.
The team here was the ill-fated Independent National Hawks.
Aha.
They were only here for 2 years, so that might have been the team that played here, and they had the torch come through. So that's because I believe there was a baseball game involved when the torch came through, and it wasn't Legion or Senior Beirut. So, but that, yeah, I mean, a lot of things have happened here. But speaking of the National Pride, Monkey Boy is going to be here.
Yeah,
he'll be back.
Monkey Boy and Barstool Sports.
Yes, on July the 28th. And guess who will not be here for that night?
You will not?
I will not.
Oh, boo.
I will be away on vacay.
You're well deserved, I'm sure. As Figueroa slices the first pitch he sees from new pitcher Jordan Morat, who comes in with 2 out and 1 on here in the bottom of the 7th. 2 runs already crossed the plate. And he's quickly ahead, 0-2. Another cool thing about things happening here at Historic Holman Stadium, I'll get to that
I know what you're going to say.
In just a moment.
I know what you're going to say.
Very excited for this.
Pride Baseball. I mean, not Pride, but Silver Knights Baseball Camp, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Are you one of the instructors? That's what I want to know.
Listen, I will teach you everything you don't need to know about baseball.
Right.
And
which is why you should be out there.
Exactly. You know what I should do? Teaching how to score a game properly. That's what it should be.
There you go.
On the 0-2 pitch to Figueroa, and he pulls that one up and over the head of the third baseman. That should score a run. And fun with 2 as Nashua keeps the train rolling. McDermott scores from second. And Figueroa, his second RBI double. Second RBI of the game.
Yep,
this one in the form of a single.
RBI double and an RBI single sandwiched around or bordering around 2 strikeouts, 2 caught lookings. He wasn't looking that time. Got a base hit, didn't strike it hard, but did what he had to do with it and get it up over the third baseman and down the line in left field. So I told you he was looking down the line. See, I told you that's where he was looking.
Absolutely. That's why I asked. Why is the left fielder shading towards center? As you mentioned, you said Monkey Boy coming on 7:23.
No, 7:28.
7:28, sorry. Yes. I had 7:28 as McNamara
and I don't
takes
even work
it
for the
inside.
team. I
had it, and I did 23 to 28. I flipped them. But coming on July 20th is going to be Nesson. But the best part about that, it is prime time, baby. Nesson will be here
Thursday night. Yep.
July 20th at 6 p.m.
Guess who won't be here for that, too?
You won't be there for either?
I am off from the 17th I am off from the 17th.
They're paying you to stay away? That's impressive.
17th until August 2nd when they have a home game here. Yep.
Outstanding.
Not bad, huh?
Outstanding. Well, certainly enjoy your vacation.
Now, I've done ETV games, and I believe that's an ETV game that 28th night. I've done them when I've been on vacation. But, unfortunately, I'll be out of town that night, so will not be able to do that.
Well, I mean, if somebody twists my arm, I'm sure I could lend my golden pipes to a game or two.
I'm sure you can.
On a 3-0 pitch from
Just tell
More
the
at?
other, just tell the other team not to tackle Monkey Boy this time, all right?
I know. If you didn't know the story of Monkey Boy, certainly go and look for it. Again, the coolest thing about this whole thing, especially with adding Barstool in it, one of the personalities on Barstool was Monkey Boy's handler here, and that's how the whole thing processed. And this has been a bit of a reunion. We've had Barstool here a couple times. They've interviewed some of our fans, some of us here as interns and whatnot, and it should be a very, very exciting night as it looks like a double steal. Throw down the third and safe. And delayed steal on McDermott.
Yeah, it wasn't a double steal. It was one runner on his own. One runner didn't go. Maybe it looked as though Figueroa didn't know that the steal was on. Is that Figueroa or is that a pinch runner?
That looks like that is still Figueroa.
Or no, it wouldn't be Figueroa. It would be.
Yes, it would be Figueroa. Yep.
At second?
No, that's McNamara at second. Figueroa's at third.
Right. Figueroa's at third. So McNamara did not know that the steal was on, and so
either that or is very delayed.
No, he went smartly when the ball bounced off the third baseman. So now you got runners at second and third, a chance to really break this game open for Cam Kozel.
And even though Kozel's only hitting 212, just above the Mendoza line, he's a guy I would love to have in this spot because I really. That pitch is close on a 0-2. He's a kid, even though he's a freshman, should be a high school senior going into his freshman year at Vandy. There's a reason why he's going to Vanderbilt.
Oh, sure there is.
So this kid has got some, and you know what? And talking with him and breaking down different games and asking him questions, he's got a really, really high baseball IQ. As that one is driven deep and should get down and will. At least one run comes in. Now 2 runs come in. And just like that, as I said it, great high baseball IQ. He rips a single with 2 outs to score 2. And as you said, Nashua opens the door wide open. 5 runs across the plate already, and we're not done here in the bottom of the 7th.
How about that, huh? We haven't seen a game like this in a while. I don't know if we've seen one like that this year, when Nashua has one goal, whereas routing the other team.
You can't go on
9-2.
vacation now. You know that, right? You are not allowed.
Why?
Because we're winning. You and I are on the call.
Well,
You're not allowed to be on vacation.
I'm not going on until
No, I don't care.
like
Not
couple
the
weeks.
rest of the season. Nope, you're here for the rest of the season.
The rest of the season, huh?
Yep, you and me, kid. Has the first pitch there to Fosberg, the 9th hitter to bat here in the bottom of the 7th. He comes up with 2 outs and 1 on.
You do know.
I know everything, but yeah.
I'll tell you in a second. You do know that the Compound is America's favorite staycation destination.
That I did not know.
So I won't.
But we'll get you some broadcast equipment, and you can call it from your house.
Oh, you know what?
Call it from the pool. I don't care.
You know what? I did that thanks to Pete Johnson, our executive producer. I did that when I was ill back in late October.
That one's pulled and scoop, and that is
That's
going to be
ball.
a fair ball and an E.
Yep, E3.
E3.
Yep. I did that via Zoom. The magic of Zoom. I did a high school football game with John Collins at Stello Stadium, and I was in the comfort of home, doing the color while John Collins did the play-by-play. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how we pulled it off, but they did it.
Sounds fantastic.
Yep.
I need a cushy gig like that.
Yes, huh? That was pretty good. Isn't that nice? Nice cushy gig.
Absolutely. So Walkley steps up now with Kozel at second, Fosberg at first after that E3. And that one just low and away for a ball. Walkley single. Reached second on an error and then got balked home.
Well, you know what? The thing is, all the gifts that Norwich has given Nashua, give the Silver Knights credit. They took advantage of them.
Yeah, they've finally taken advantage. 5 errors on the night so far for the Sea Unicorns. Usually that's reversed, and that's Nashua. So it is certainly nice to see things on the other foot for a change, as that's slapped to the shortstop. Over to second for the force out, and that will end it But 5 runs across the board, and your score through 7 full. It is Norwich 2, Nashua 9. We'll be back in just a moment here on Nashua ETV. Stay tuned for more Nashua Silver Knights baseball. We're back here at Historic Holman Stadium. GJ Mitchell with the legend Tom King on Nashua ETV. Thanks for joining us here on Thursday at the ballpark. Misig back on the mound for Nashua. He will face off against the meat and potatoes of the lineup for Norwich. The 3-4-5 hitters, Buchero, Hyde, and Ferreira.
But Misig is back. I'm surprised.
You know, I'm sort of, but not really. Again, Chenevier went 4 1/3. And did a great job. Ended up only getting 2 hits, 2 runs.
So the question is, and I haven't talked to Alex about, you know, what he can do with his arm in terms of, all right, so he's going this way. You know he's not available tomorrow night. What about Saturday? Would he be available? I wonder.
Saturday, or if not, definitely Sunday, depending upon how long he goes here. Again, Misig.
That's why, you know, I'm curious of that. But you know what? Especially with the 7-run lead. But you know what? This team is... And I wrote about this the other day, is that Kyle Jackson has almost, they're so desperate for wins that he's got to manage almost like it's the 7th game of the World Series at times.
Yeah,
you know, he can't relax even up 7 runs.
Right, you almost have to move up your rotation up every half inning
doubt.
Or whatnot, right? If your 7th inning guy comes in the 6th, your 8th inning guy comes in the 7th, so on and so forth.
Right, you can't plan your week. You've got to manage every game like it's, you know,
right. You got to manage it like today.
Yeah, it's a must win because you want these guys to have a good experience.
Absolutely. Well, and the one thing I will say is that was fouled in a 2-2 pitch to Buchero. One thing I will say is, and again, we were talking about it, you know, the vibe and the feeling on this team. To a man, each of these guys, losses or wins aside, they are all having fun. And that's at least, I think, as that one sliced down the line fair, just in front of O'Connor, and he'll hold Buchero to a single. But I'll say, is, to a man, all these guys are having a good time, and that is the strength of what Nashua is about. The fans, the fan base, the host families, the vibe around the stadium is always something very positive when you step in here. And it gives a good feeling for these players, win or lose, that they know they've got support behind them game in and game out. And I think that's a big thing, too, even on a season like this where it hasn't gone Nashua's way all the time.
Well, I was very curious to see how this would work back in 2011 when the team was first here. You know, I had faith in the people who were running it. I just didn't know what the fan response was going to be because they were used to, you know, let's face it, you had Ricky Henderson playing in here as a visiting.
Right.
As a visitor. You had Jose Canseco playing here. They were used to that caliber of baseball, but then as they moved to the Can-Am League, you know, you had El Guapo was here.
Yep.
You know, you had those names. So I went, okay, would Collegiate Wooden Bat League team work here? And, you know, and so I wondered, but the way they did it, You know, they did a lot of promoting, and it surprised me, and it took off from the start.
Yeah.
And I was very surprised. And you know, credit. This is something that real estate people will tell their clients when they come to try to buy a house in Nashville. Oh, you know, what's here in the summertime? Well, there's a baseball team that plays at Holman Stadium. Oh, really? You know, things like that.
It is the perfect outing for the summertime for families, as that is hit directly at Shane McNamara. I think all he had to do is put his glove up.
Now, did you sell? I know you sold in the off season 2 years ago. Did you sell this off season?
Yeah, I did a little bit. Did a little bit. Yeah.
Yep.
Tough with a full-time job, but did as much as I could to get fans in here. Got different groups, different friends, family, you know, people coming in. But it really. I mean, we got some great camera people here, right? We get a good picture after this pitch of the beautiful skyline in the back with the colors. Looks like Bob Ross has done some work here. And to right, McNamara come up gunning.
You're talking about those puffy clouds?
Yeah, just with the color scheme, it looks picturesque out here. Like, it really, you know what it looks like? It reminds me of.
I'll give you a hint here.
It reminds me of Norman Rockwell just, you know, painting something live
of a
baseball game. And it's beautiful.
It is a beautiful shot. I'll tell you, though, if you want Tim O'Neill to kind of do that artistic work, you got to feed him.
I will. Don't worry about it.
You have to feed him.
Don't worry. I'll feed him. We'll take care of him.
All right.
Like I said,
that's the one thing Tim O'Neill needs when he comes here.
Apparently I'm buying rounds for Nashua ETV after this game, so
I'm not talking about after the game. You got to bring it up now. You got to get somebody down there to bring it up now.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I'll go full major league. I'll bring a bottle of Jack. I'll break out my best Bob Uecker.
No. He doesn't want any of that. He wants food. He wants good. You know, he wants to be fed.
Foods, drinks, snacks. We got it all.
That's it.
As that one's pulled and almost cleaned up nicely by the first base coach, but going to call an error there.
Now, an inning ago, you'd be a little worried. You got runners at first and second with one out, and you would have been saying, "Uh-oh, you know, we gotta worry about this." But no, Nashville with a 5 spot in the 7th inning, and they have a 9-2 lead here in the top of the 8th at Holman Stadium.
That is huge, and it really is. It's a different feeling having a lead this much, calling a game and being involved in a game. I'm not sure why that one missed. As it's 1-2, but it's a different vibe when you feel like one hit isn't going to break the momentum of this team. See if Misi can get him to spin it. And that one's pulled. Still stays 1-2. I'd love to see Misig be able to turn one and get him to hit it to Kozil or De La Rosa and try and get out of this inning real quick. Scheduled De La Rosa, Giolongo, and O'Connor in the bottom of this inning. Misig taking a long time looking in, getting the count. Popped up. Luca coming in on his horse. That's going to drop into no man's land.
That is a tough play.
That is.
Either way. I don't think De La Rosa could get there. I would think that Luca might have gotten there, but he was afraid of a collision. And I think he held up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you know, because De La Rosa is pretty fast.
Yeah, it was sort of in that Bermuda triangle of spots in the outfield. And it looks like Kyle Jackson is going to go to a relief pitcher.
Yeah, because I think Misig had thrown a lot of pitches. You know, this inning he was, you know, so good job by Misig. He did a great job, and will probably get the win in this game. Well, maybe Chenevert might. I'm not sure.
Looks like this might be Zach
Gitshire. Yeah. I think he needs to work. I think that's why he's out there, because usually he doesn't pitch in a game like this.
Actually, you know what? Zach has been brought in more with runners in scoring and in scoring position or in jams. As crazy as this sounds, I love this move to go to a guy like Zach Gitshire.
Well, I think you have to, because in Kyle Jackson's case, he wants a win. He is not, you know, he's not going to go with, you know, the second tier of the bullpen. He's going to use his top relievers to come in here and try to get this win because they need it. They need to get number 8. They cannot leave Holman Stadium tonight up 9-2 without that win. They cannot do it. That would just crush them.
Oh, I agree. That would be an absolute killer. But of all the arms you can go to, and there is a good number of arms you could have gone to. Gemma, you could have gone to Brandon Shue.
Well, now, Gemma, now I've got a question for you. Where's Perkowski? I thought he would be in the rotation, and I thought he would have pitched earlier this week.
That is a good question. I am not sure. I'm not sure where he is in either the rotation or
the lineup.
or from that perspective. But
I'll find out after the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. He could be available today, to either pitch or be a bat or whatnot. But getting back to Zach, the reason why I like this is he's come in last year, and again, he also came in, this year on a number of times where he's been in a pressure situation. And we know he's up to it. He did this last year, came in pressure situations, was pretty effective. There have been times he got hit and he gave up a few runs, but generally speaking, is able to lock things down and close out innings that can be problematic.
Right.
And more importantly, what I love is the fact that he knows how to do this on a high level. Ended up taking and being on the team that was SNHU that went to the College World Series, ended up in the semifinals, couldn't, stretch it all the way to the finals. So he knows what it's like to pitch in action-packed pressure situations, which, granted, a grand slam doesn't do much, but it really cuts into this lead, and it's something Nashua doesn't want. So you're bringing a guy like Gitshire to settle things down, get out of this inning virtually unscathed, and get a good feeling, like you said, not just back towards the dugout, but in the stadium as well, knowing that Nashua does, in fact, know how to see a game out as they're leading towards the end of the game.
Right.
And that's huge for Nashua. It's a good confidence builder. That one's in there for strike 2. 2 beautiful pitches by Gitch. Has Kovalchik fooled. Buchero at third, Ferreira at second, Kramer at first. Gitch looking to get out number 2 and keep the runners at bay. And the off-speed fouled off of Fosberg as he'll walk it off.
I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher run into more bad luck at times than Zach Gitshire, right? He's got great stuff.
He does.
There's always a ball that bloops to no man's land or is hit off a player, or there's always just something that just bad luck for Zach sometimes when he comes into games. Other times he's lights out.
Yeah, there are times that I've seen the ball just hit, like he just gets hit back to back to back. They just square him up. And like you said, just bad luck. The pitches are great pitches, but you tip the cap to a good hitter and a good approach up there. But you are right. He definitely tends to run into that bad luck, almost like the Tim Wakefield, right? How he never would get run support anytime he pitched. Kind of the same thing. That's popped straight up. Gitch gets out of the way to let Walkley over. He'll get there, and the infield fly rule applied, and Gitch gets a huge out number 2 here in the top of the 8th.
Speaking of good performances, this Yankee fan you're talking to, you probably hate me even more now.
No.
Had a treat last night.
I was going to say,
was able to watch the
are you even sober today after that perfect game?
The last three I only saw the last top of the ninth, and that was or bottom of the ninth, and that was.
And you know what's funny, and this is I love baseball, right? And we'll get to let's pause it, get to it in the middle of the inning as Gitch fires that in there. But I do love baseball, and I love how a guy like that will get a perfect game, right? And guys like Pedro Martinez don't even have a perfect game or a no-hitter. Come close, one hitter, a bunch of two hitters, but no perfect game or no. And this guy is a nobody.
Herman,
he's a nobody.
Herman won a bunch of games for them a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but but in general relative terms, he's a nobody.
He's not an upper echelon.
He's a guy you don't even draft in fantasy baseball.
He's not an upper echelon pitcher.
He'll be back in the minor leagues in 3 weeks.
No, he won't.
The joke being that.
Diego Herman almost no-hit the Red Sox a couple of years ago.
Well, the Boston baseball team's terrible.
He's got that. Well, it was the team that went. It was the team that went to the playoffs. So
I don't care. They're still terrible.
He's got that kind of stuff The problem is he doesn't bring it every night.
Yeah, well,
And
for one magical night, he was unbelievable.
He gave up 10 runs his previous start.
Yeah, he was getting shelled the last couple of starts before this perfect
exactly.
game.
One
and that should be in there. Strike 3. Oh,
no,
wow.
Inside, 2 inside. One by the he was shelled by the Red Sox. You know?
Yeah.
So, but whatever he did worked. I mean, you could tell he's breaking stuff. If his breaking stuff bites, then he's got.
He was.
Yeah.
I mean, not that, unhittable, I get that's a cliche, but he was untouchable yesterday. He was phenomenal.
You know, I mean, no hitters have become a little bit passé, but a perfect game, I think that's
still something that's amazing.
still something in baseball that people really pay attention to.
Oh, absolutely. And the 2-2, that one's pulled. That's going to be foul. What I think is just as impressive is he did it in 99 pitches, which to me spits completely in the face of all the baseball cybermetrics nerds.
99 pitches,
and I love that.
Struck out 9 hitters, so a third of the hitters struck out.
But that's the thing is once you go 2 or 3 times through the rotation, they usually yank you.
Right.
So I'm surprised they even let him go through with all the nerds that are ruining baseball.
Yeah,
so I'm impressed.
Aaron Boone wasn't going to do that.
Yeah, Aaron Boone's, well.
I think if Aaron Boone was told to, he wouldn't have done it. I really do.
That may be fair, and I'd hope to think so. But how the nerds are ruining baseball, I wouldn't be surprised. But key situation here: full count, 3-2, 2 out, bases loaded. Everybody will be moving as Gitchai tries to get Agar here for the 3rd out. And he gets it outside in a ball. You got to be kidding me. Gitch not happy about that call, and I don't blame him. That has been a strike all night long, and now you call it a ball? You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
I thought it was a ball. I did. I wasn't surprised.
You're kidding me.
I wasn't surprised. I really wasn't. I wasn't surprised when I saw it.
I mean, listen, anything that's been close has been a strike, so how was that not?
Up and away. Unfortunately, it was up, and that's a strike. That was clearly off the plate, and that's a strike. Yeah, you have a better angle because you're in the middle, and I'm to the side.
That's why I'm telling you.
But I thought when that pitch broke, not where the catcher caught it, where it broke over the plate.
Well, that gets quickly into the stands.
That's the good thing about Gitchai. He does it. He's not nibbling. He's attacking.
No. That's another good thing is, again, you get the walk, you maybe get a run that's let in, but Gitch is not going to nibble. He's going to go be aggressive.
Scoreboard needs to be changed. It's 0-2.
So Gitch is 0-2 with the bases loaded. Trying to get out of this jam. And he gets it outside corner, and he was halfway to first. He thought it was a strike, too. And the umpire shaking his head. Gitchai apoplectic right now on the mound.
Well, Gitchai has got to stop with the showmanship and just put the ball over the plate.
You want my opinion? The umpire's got to stop with the showmanship and call a strike 3.
That was on the board. That was
the strike 3. That's been a strike all game. It doesn't happen in the 8th inning. It just doesn't become one. And that's inside.
And see, that's the problem now. Gitchai is going to try to he's a little bit too amped up.
Yep. Yeah. Now you got to sort of, what's the line from For the Love of the Game? Clear the mechanism, right? You've got to learn to just sit back, collect your thoughts, and get back in that.
Here's what you got to learn to do. Pitch to contact. You're ahead 9-3. Pitch to contact, let him hit it. He's trying to make the perfect strikeout pitch, and the ump knows it. So if he doesn't throw it, the ump's not going to give it to him.
And that he got him swinging there.
Look at that.
Gitch is all fired up.
Oh, he's all fired up. How about that?
He is hotter than a pepper right now.
You got to love it.
I do. That's why I love watching Gitch, because he gives you everything from the time he gets on that bump to the time he gets to the dugout. It is full tilt, full time from Zach Gitchai, and does a good job only allowing run across the plate with the bases loaded. And Nashua leads now 9-3.
But that's why you love Silver Knights baseball, right? An emotion like that from Gitchai at the end of an inning. You love that. And that's exactly what you want to see. And when he does that, I almost wish I was able to get a photo of it, but the screen would not make it look good. But that is a perfect reason why the fans really love this baseball team, win or lose, because of that emotion.
And that really is it. And that really is, again, if you want to come out to to a game, I highly suggest you do. Even if the team isn't as great as the record says, the fact that you've got guys like Gitshire and George Welch and guys like that up and down, Shane McNamara, Luca Giolongo, guys that are just exciting to watch, but just as important, give it their all, and you know you're not getting cheated buying the ticket watching these guys play.
Right.
And here it is, just one random my nemesis, my buddy, my spark from last year, it's Johnny Knox, is going to take the bump for the bottom of the 8th inning.
How about that?
This kid could do it all. He's got a little sidearm tail on his pitch, so that should be an interesting thing to see for Nashua, as it'll be the 9-1-2 hitters, Della Rosa, Giolongo, and O'Connor.
So now here's my question, right? We're talking about the perfect game and leaving them in, leaving them out. Suppose a pitcher, and I'm not just going to keep it to the Silver Knights, because it's league-wide. And this is all about, the college. These kids are limited with the pitches. Suppose a pitcher in this league had a perfect game for 6 innings. What do you do?
Let him go. Let him go. I didn't stutter.
Yeah.
You let him go.
Yep. No, I mean,
and granted, and I'll take the line.
Baseball-wise, I would, but the thing is, do they have limits? They have pitch limits. They have all sorts of rules and everything else, and the college coaches don't
Here's why I let him go.
You know?
And again, I agree. I'll take the line from Summers' catch.
Yep.
A perfect game in the Cape League doesn't even make the Globe. And I agree.
Right.
A perfect game here isn't even going to make any of the local papers.
No, it'll make the National Telegraph.
Right, no, but I mean, it's in like Globe Herald, it's not going to make a big name paper, right? I don't care. It's the fact that you get to see something and the fans get to see something live that they may not be able to see.
Exactly. I mean,
I think that perspective of it as a baseball guy, and I'm an analytics guy too, but I'm a baseball guy at pure at heart. That's what I go for.
You saw how those fans reacted in Oakland last night. Some of them A's fans, and they were rooting for it.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, Andres Galarraga, the no-hitter the perfect game that wasn't, their whole stadium was cheering for him, and he was, the away team and the visitors. So yeah, I'm with you. I think you've got to let the player get himself to where they're either out of the perfect game, out of the no-hitter, and then you start, taking him out. But you give him a chance to see what he can do. I'm a baseball purist at heart, so I'm always going to give a kid a chance. Because what do they play? Maybe D2, D3? Maybe they're not going to go to the professional leagues. Maybe not even the majors.
I agree with you.
20 years down the road, they're going to remember they threw a perfect game.
I agree. I'm just wondering what they would do. I agree.
I think you let them go.
Well, I think that's the choice that you would make and that I would make. What would they do?
I honestly think Kyle Jackson and the coaching staff here would let the player go and let them keep pitching until they either lost the perfect game, no-hitter, or whatever.
No-hitter, right. Yeah, exactly. Yep. See, if it was a no-hitter, I don't think they would. If it was just a no-hitter, not a perfect game, I don't think they would. I think they would, after 6 no-hit innings, they'd take him out.
As that one is popped up towards center. And can of corn for Leonzi for the out number 1, Johnny Knox. Very effective against Della Rosa here.
A pinch hitter from Westmont College, number 51, Liam Critchett.
Now you like to see this from Kyle Jackson, emptying the bench a little bit.
Yeah, Liam Critchett comes in.
You've got your full bullpen down there. Is Welch here tonight? I'm not sure.
I did see Welchie. I don't know if he would pitch here in this game.
Probably not.
I wouldn't put him in.
No. I'm surprised that, again, they put Gitshire in because I think just to get him sharp, because to me, he's their best setup man.
I agree. He is one of their best. I would say, I know Gemma's more of a starter, but I would certainly put him as a guy you could put in there. Prokowski's certainly a guy you could use as a setup, but Brandon Shue is not a bad setup guy either if you're looking for a change of pace.
Those are two of your starters now. I think Gemma and Prokowski, and after that, Shue is more a middle inning guy. See, I thought Misig would. I thought the routine would be Misig, Gitshire, and Welch, but they brought Misig in early, so that doesn't work. So I mean that doesn't fit my what I thought the plan would be. So I don't know if Kyle's got a definite order that he wants to do, or it goes by how frequently they've all worked and how much work they need?
Well, I know that they do certainly go by work and try and get innings in, but I do know that they try and set up some sort of a structure similar like back in the day, like, you know, Embry in the 8th, Timlin in the 9th type of thing,
right,
you know,
right.
You know, Okajima, then Papelbon. So there is somewhat of a setup closer or seventh inning guy, whatever.
I think in the playoffs you have that.
Right, but I think even here you tend to have that, like, and you just go every couple of days who is available and kind of put the back end together. But generally speaking, guys have roles where they're going to be in or asked to call upon. And then, you know, like you said, a guy like Gitchard coming in pressure situations, even if it wasn't a 6-run, you know, lead at that point, a 7-run lead, he was able to come in a pressure situation and lock it down and get basically Nashua out of the jam with only 1 run.
Right.
So it's a big thing to have guys in spots that they can excel in that gives them the confidence going forward. And I think this step here, as crazy as it sounds, I think is a good first step for the remainder of the season for Nashua. Assuming that they can see this game out as Critchett takes a walk with a 1 out here. And Nick O'Connor with 1 out and 1 on now.
St. Thomas Aquinas College, the left fielder number 1, Nick O'Connor.
Pitch hit for Giolongo, right?
Yeah,
so
honestly, Luke,
I wonder if Giolongo pulled anything as he was making that run in.
That's outside.
I hope not.
I don't think so. I'll be honest. I think, and just in talking with Luca, he is very banged up. If he's not getting on base,
really?
Well, in the sense of if he's not getting on base from a single perspective, that's pushed. Can they turn 2? Over to second for 1, over to first, safe. Johnny Knox did a great job of covering, but just couldn't get there.
That's what I was wondering when I saw the first baseman go as far as he did towards second. I said, okay, someone's got to get over there and cover first. They did, but just not in time. Good job there by O'Connor to beat that out.
Yeah, but as I was saying, I think if he's not getting on base with singles, he's getting plunked. And the other day, just with stolen bases and playing his
he's gotten hit a lot.
He's got bruises and cuts all over his body. He needs the ice bath. He needs one of those cryogenic chambers. So I wouldn't be surprised if they took him out, not for precautionary or anything that went wrong, just to give him a little time off his feet and to rest in a 6-run game. You know, here maybe get a chance for Critchett to take center field for a bit, get him some confidence, you know, out in the outfield and center, get, you know, guys maybe out of their comfort zone a little bit to get them into positions that maybe you need to move them into center for a game because you need to give Shane and or Luca, you know, a break or whatnot. So I don't mind it per se, but it's certainly something to keep an eye on going forward.
Right.
But I don't think Luca, there's any issues. I think it's just trying to get him a little R&R with a couple of innings where it's going to be a long stretch of back-to-back-to-back games for Nashua without basically a break.
Yep.
And that one just outside, and the count is now 2-2 to McDermott. Here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning.
9-3 to score.
Yeah, huge. And McDermott, Oppo, Slappo,
and
right into the glove.
Cotto.
Yeah, no kidding, unreal.
Yeah.
But it's the top of the 9th with Nashua ahead 9-3 over Norwich. We'll be back for the final inning here from Historic Holman Stadium on Nashua ETV. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a bit. As we're back here from Historic Holman Stadium for the top of the 9th inning, a new pitcher here, number 12, Will Ray. 6'2", 215 out of Wake Forest, the junior from Mars, PA. As he steps in for the first time, making his debut here for the Nashua Silver Knights, just off the College World Series semifinals. But I do want to take the time today to welcome Merrimack TV, watching in, as well as Nashua ETV. So thank you for joining us here from Historic Holman Stadium. GJ Mitchell with the legend Tom King on the call.
And for those watching on Merrimack TV, some of their Merrimack Tomahawks that just graduated were playing in key roles in the Chad game, Chad football game a week ago, last Friday night. When do you see an all-star game go into double overtime?
Wow.
God.
Wow.
Double OT.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was.
An all-star game at boot, too.
Yeah, it was. Yep. Fantastic catch by a Londonderry receiver for Team East to tie the game, help tie the game. And you had two great kickers on either team. Neither one of them could kick a field goal in the first overtime. one was blocked, and the other one missed. And then the other kicker for Team West from Bishop Brady up in Concord got the ball just through after it was tipped to give Team West the 13-10 win, because the Londonderry, not the Londonderry kicker, but whoever the kicker was for Team East, he missed wide left.
Oh, man.
And we're talking about close field goals, because these are, they start at the 10-yard line,
right,
the way they
right.
play. So they were, it was about a 30, 28, 29-yard field goal attempt. So it was an exciting game. Well, I'll tell you, it was probably the best high school game I'd seen all year.
Wow.
And that was a high school all-star game, and it was 13-10 final. It was fabulous football.
As that one is hit right back up the box. Should be an easy play from second to first. And there's one out here as Kozel sends over to Walkley for the 4-3 putout. And a nice job by Will Ray on his first out here. Brings up Jackson Ferrigno. I'll tell you what, Tom, I would love to see football back here at Historic Holman Stadium. I think it would be such an amazing sight.
No, it wouldn't. No.
You know what?
No, not the place for it. Not anymore. It would tear up the field.
Okay, hold on, hold the phone. I don't care about the field. I don't care about that. I'm talking from an aesthetic perspective of watching a football game in a baseball stadium. I think it would be a neat concept to bring back here.
It will never happen.
Well, when I become mayor of Nashua, it will.
It won't happen because
the 1-1 strike
because
there.
You've got a really great facility over at Stellos. And
no, I know. It just would be, imagine Thanksgiving coming here.
If you want to play all right, say you want to play one game here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could get away with that one game, but actually now I don't know because of the left field wall.
Again, I'm
not sure if you could do it. You could probably do it, but to get the 100-yard field, the 100 yards, but I don't know. I just think
over to first high, but gets him in time.
I know the grounds crew would cringe.
Oh no! I respect the grounds crew, respect those guys and all that, and they want. But just as a general perspective, we were talking about bringing cool things back to Nashua. I mentioned about bringing concerts, understanding that would ruin the field itself.
Well, you could control the concerts are a different story.
No, but I'm just saying in general. I know that things I'm asking for ruins field.
The concerts, you could tarp the area or whatever. You could cover the infield. You could do a lot of different things to try to preserve it. But for football, I was here at the game that really caused Holman to lose football. And that was the 1997 state championship game that just tore the place apart.
Oh, I'm sure it would not be good on the field.
No.
As Will Ray certainly right away is dealing here. He's only, what's that? 7 pitches in. And he's already that is the 9th pitch. He's already 7 strikes, 2 balls, and almost ready to get out of this inning. 1-2-3 to give Nashua a much-needed W here. So we'll see if he can finish it off. Inside strike, no! What are we doing?
That one I agree with you.
Where are we going with this, Blue? Come on, baby.
That one I will say you're right at.
Wow. That's unreal. I've been watching baseball for 40 years. That's unreal. And that's outside. Then you know that was going to happen. If you miss a pitch, they always overthrow, always jack up their arm too much. Couldn't take a little off, and now we got a full count here to Buchiro. The number 3 hitter as Will Ray looks to close this out for Nashua. Payoff pitch. Gets him to foul it off, and we'll do it again. As the crowd's getting a little lively, they want to see a final strike. They want to see a final out. They want to see a win here at Historic Holman Stadium on Thursday. Will Ray comes to the set. Fouled back, and we'll do it again. Buchiro being very pesky up there from the right side.
You love this battle. Would it be even more dramatic if it was a close game and runners on base and you saw this type of battle?
Oh, I love it.
This would be it.
I love stuff like that.
Oh,
Win,
yeah.
lose, a draw. As a broadcaster, you love calling
It's fabulous. It's fabulous.
And he got him.
No, he did not.
He did not foul. They couldn't hold on. Here's Fosberg. Looked like that might have hit off him, too.
This is great. It hit off Fosberg, I think, yeah. This is fabulous stuff. The game within the games, GJ.
Yes, sir.
The game within the game.
Now looks like the umpire going out, giving Fosberg another extra minute or 2 to recover.
You couldn't pay me enough to be a catcher. Oh my God.
Oh, I would love to be a catcher.
Oh,
I
would
would.
you? Oh, you'd be a good one.
The knees. Forget if I could have good knees.
You know where you'd be a good catcher? You'd insult and distract the hitter with a couple of one-liners.
I would chirp everybody.
That's what you would You would drive them
without
nuts.
question. 3-2 pitch here. 2 outs. Top of the ninth, and we go it again. Sliced. Oh, I would chirp everybody. I would have a line for them. Oh, yeah.
It'd be brutal.
It would be excellent.
It would just be so.
Perfect game after perfect game caught by me.
It would just be too much.
I'd give you good sound bites on a 3-2 pitch coming here. Will Ray trying to close it and walks him.
And that's what happens.
Yep.
You got a hitter that hangs in there like that. They are going to get their money's worth, and he gets the walk. And now Hyde comes up.
Yeah, now a dangerous hitter, Hyde.
If this was a close game, it would be like, oh, no.
Ray not really paying attention to the runner. Hyde pops that up, and it should do it as O'Connor gets under it. And that will do it for Nashua as the Silver Knights win this one 9-3. Norwich 3 runs, 5 hits, and 5 errors. Nashua 9 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error.